Love espresso, drip coffee, and cold brew? With the Ninja Luxe Cafe, if you can crave it, you can brew it. Espresso, balanced. Drip coffee, rich. Cold brew, in a flash. With Barista Assist technology, you brew with no stress and no guesswork. And make perfect silky microfoam hands-free from dairy or plant-based milks. Bring the coffeehouse home and unlock your favorites with the Ninja Luxe Cafe.
Welcome, friends, it's the MovieFilm Podcast. MovieFilm Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. MovieFilm Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to MovieFilm. It's episode 323, brought to you by Mr. Boyd Productions. I'm Zachy Hassan. I'm here with Brian Hall.
Hey, how's it going, Zachy? It's been a minute.
It really has, right? We have taken our traditional late summer hiatus, and we're back. We're back, ready to play.
Yeah. Well, I'll start real quick because yours is a little longer, and I'm very interested to hear about it. But I'll just say on my end, my parents were out here visiting, which they tend to mostly come out at the end of the year around Christmas time.
And they live in Oklahoma.
They live in Oklahoma, and every Christmas we always say, "Oh, it'd be so fun if you came out in the summer." And there's just different things available. We can go to Catalina, we can go to the Hollywood Bowl, we can do that sort of thing. And so, just a couple weeks in advance, they were like, "Hey, you guys free into July?" Which is very unlike them. And so my brother and I, Dan, we were very excited, and so they came out, and it was great. We went to spend a day at Catalina, and they had a good time, and my brother's wife, her family is out here, and so we had like a get together with them, and we took them to all our favorite restaurants, and it was just a unexpected but really awesome time with the family. So that was nice.
I'm glad you get to enjoy that.
Yeah. And then you've been traveling.
Yeah, I did my usual Chicago stopover, as I try to do during the summer. This one was especially packed because there was a lot of family stuff going, but I was basically I was with two of my kids, so I was at 1/3 capacity.
Now, what's the typical load for these visits? I mean, how many people tend to come? Like, is it usually just portions of the family, or does the whole family ever go?
So a few years back, the whole family went, and that was challenging.
Sure.
Because that's just a lot. However, I think at some point, probably like whenever the next trip is, it will probably be the whole family, and I'm kind of, I'm stealing myself for that. Because that can be challenging.
Sure.
Just getting everybody to, traveling is like airport travel is not fun anyway.
No. Yeah.
And then when you factor in just all the logistics involved, it starts becoming a lot,
Well, and also the time spent. So when my parents were out here, I'm very lucky because they're very easygoing, but I kept feeling like, okay, we'll do this restaurant. Maybe that gives us time to go to this Japanese garden and like you're just trying to make sure everyone isn't bored.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm very lucky because they're like, we're cool, man. Like, we're just happy to be out here. You don't have to worry about that thing. If we're just going to hang around this afternoon, we're just going to hang around. But I'm thinking of having your kids, and they're a bunch of different ages, and having to sort of be like, okay, is this person like, do I need to entertain them? Are they cool doing this thing? Is everyone going to enjoy that thing? It'd be a lot to manage.
Well, I went with my first one and my third, so they're 18 and 14.
Mm-hmm.
So they're pretty self-reliant as far as keeping themselves entertained.
Yeah, that's good.
But it every day was busy in terms of doing sort of touristy stuff or meeting relatives and things. So it was very, very busy, but a lot of fun. We went to the Museum of Science and Industry, which has ended up becoming kind of an annual thing. And this year they have a Spider-Man exhibit, history of Spider-Man exhibit. I think it's called Beyond Amazing.
Cool. What was that like? What did they have?
It was super cool. It was like stuff that I already know.
Sure. Okay, so it's like telling the history
of the whole history of Spider-Man, but it was neat to just be, they have costumes from the films on display, they have original artwork and stuff, and it's just neat to see that stuff,
Totally.
And I'm pretty sure I talked about this previously, but I want to say again, there's an attraction at Navy Pier called Flyover Chicago,
Mm.
which is similar to Soaring at Disneyland.
Yes, which is awesome.
Yeah, and this is I went last year with my second, and this year specifically, I was like, oh, I'm going to take these guys with me on that. It's friggin' amazing, man.
Mm-hmm. So it's you're in a chair suspended, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's like a interactive, sensory. They have like mists and smells and stuff. It makes you feel like you're flying through the city of Chicago.
Yeah, you're flying over the history of Chicago, like over the stockyards, and you're like, smells like poo.
I mean, kind of,
Right.
super cool. It feels like being Superman.
That's awesome.
So really enjoyed that. So that's just like my plug. Like anybody listening who either lives there and has never been, or if you happen to visit, go to Navy Pier, fly over Chicago. It is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then other than that, I watched some movies and stuff, which I guess we'll talk about as we get into this discussion.
Yeah, a couple things to catch up on. I'm excited about it.
Well, what have you seen other than that? Other than the stuff we're going to talk about?
You gave me the perfect segue with Chicago. Just last night finished season 4 of The Bear.
There you go.
Which is on Hulu. And I'm sure most people at this point are kind of aware what it's about, but it's about this chef who returns to Chicago where his family ran sort of like an Italian beef sandwich shop, but he decides to transform it into a high-end dining experience. And it's, about all the different personalities in this place. His family is very high-strung and combustible and a lot of tension there. And so, but when they're able to work in harmony, they create amazing things. And so season 1, I really loved. Season 2, I remember liking too. I remember season 3 was where critics and some people were starting to be like, maybe this show is losing its way. It's starting to get a little up its own butt a bit, and sort of a little pretentious, or, what was season 3 even really about anything? And it's just sort of loosey-goosey, following its whims in a way that it seems to be really admiring. Like it's admiring itself, but is it entertaining to watch? I actually did kind of like season 3. And season 4, I had read many people saying was a bit of a return to form. And I think so, but I would still call the show a little bit at this point of a mixed bag for me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But leaning positive, because I'm still always going to come back. I do like the characters. I like the setting. I like the story, and I want to see them succeed. But it does, it's very funny. You don't know what you're going to get with each episode. Like one episode might be just very self-serious and sort of teetering on pretentious, but then you'll get another episode that's really character focused and hits really hard and is so emotional and satisfying and triumphant. So yeah, it's funny. It seesaws a bit. You don't know what you're going to get with each episode, but by the end of it, of course, I'm like, well, when's the next season? So, I mean, overall I like it, but it is, I don't know. I mean, that's what it is. I guess that is part of their voice, is sometimes it's going to be a little ponderous, and sometimes it will hit, and sometimes I'll be like, oh boy, kind of have my hand on my phone a little bit. But
okay.
But I will say, I got to call out Eben Moss-Bachrach.
Yeah.
Who we'll be talking about again with Fantastic Four. He plays this character named, he's cousin Richie. He is phenomenal. I've loved him. He's always been interesting, and then he has kind of a character turn. I want to say at the end of season 2-ish, and which is one of my favorite episodes of all time of any television show with this character. Just such an incredible character piece. And seeing where he's gone, and where the episode season 4 ended last night, and what he was given to do, his character, the performance, it's just, I was like, who is doing anything like this right now? It's so singular, him, and it's so well done and effective. And I just want to watch this guy. I would watch 100 episodes of this guy. So anyway, I had to single him out because I just think he's so phenomenal. And I was so happy that he was in Fantastic Four, because I just want to see this guy all over the place. I just think he's so interesting and so good. So
well, there we go.
The Bear. I am looking forward to, I guess, 2026. There will be a season 5. So,
Okay.
I haven't done a Brian's reading corner in a while. And I wanted to call out that a little while back, I finished a book called Project Hail Mary.
Oh, yes. And Andy Weir's new thing.
Andy Weir, he was the author of The Martian, which was another excellent book. And it was turned into a Ridley Scott movie starring Matt Damon, where an astronaut gets stuck on Mars. And what was so interesting about it is you can imagine the big budget action movie version of that, which would be interesting. But what's so great about that book is the main character is the narrator, and he's the scientist, and it's literally, and he's very funny, he's very witty, and he's just literally going through the math of how in the world do I survive on Mars with this amount of oxygen, with this amount of food, with this amount of whatever. And so it's what we talk about sometimes, where we like procedure movies, or especially like journalism movies, where it's about the nuts and bolts of
right.
Of everything. And that's what this author does really well. And so like that with Project Hail Mary, it's hard not to, you don't want to spoil all the fun to be had, but basically the sun is dying and there's a reason, and it's in the first act of the movie, the reason, but I won't spoil it. And so, Ryan Gosling finds himself in space, and it's going to be a movie with Ryan Gosling. I was literally looking at the IMDb page for it and seeing the name Ryan Gosling. But yeah, Ryan Gosling's going to play the lead character. But basically, the sun is dying. Ryan Gosling's in space, and he's got to figure out, how can we stop this, or the Earth will become uninhabitable. And there's just, when he's out there, it's basically a one-way ticket. He's got to go so far out there. There's just it's not sustainable for him to get back, right? And as you see in the trailer for the movie, so I feel like this is as far as I'll go as spoilers, he's way, way out there, probably never going to see another human being again. And then he sees another spaceship. Who's on it? And so it's just delightful. I love this book. It was a page turner. When it was over, I was sad it was over. I didn't want to leave the world. So I thought I would throw it out there as a recommendation, because I think people will enjoy reading it, and it will probably only enhance seeing the movie version of it, which is coming from Lord and Miller.
Yeah, right.
And starring Ryan Gosling, I think next March 2026. So high recommendation for Project Hail Mary.
Nice.
Yeah. And then lastly, I watched Happy Gilmore 2.
Oh, so how is this? Oh, I'm so curious to hear your thoughts on this.
Man, this is a weird one. Do you have any interest in this?
I mean, I like the original. I suppose I'll get to the sequel at some point. This
is what I'll say. I didn't mind it.
Okay.
And it did make me laugh, but it's a weird movie. I mean, Happy Gilmore 1 came out when I was like 15 years old. So, I mean, I am the sweet spot with the audience for that. Like I still love that movie. It still makes me laugh. And that movie feels like a movie, right? Okay. I mean, there's just there's stakes, there's an arc, it doesn't linger, okay. It's not all about the cameos. There are cameos, but they're all part of the scene that's getting you, something needs to be accomplished to get to the next scene. This Happy Gilmore 2 feels like a series of sketches almost.
Okay.
Like an excuse to stuff in as many cameos as possible. Like, to me, I thought it had like the loose, freewheeling energy of a variety show, where it's like,
okay,
so it's like, all right, well, Happy needs to get his swing back. And hey, look, kids, he's paired up with Margaret Qualley, Eric Andre, and one of the Please Don't Destroy guys from SNL. And then you wait for audience applause to be happy to see them. And then you spend a really long time, much longer than that moment should be, because all those people, because there are these cameos, need to spend as much time as possible hamming it up as long as they're on screen.
Right.
And just talking and talking and talking as if, you can use some of this, right? And they're like, no, we're using all of it. And so and so it becomes like a 2-hour-ish comedy, which comedies It's a little long for a comedy. And so you start to be like, I kind of wish.
After this past week, I'm going to say 85 minutes is maybe the sweet spot for.
Yeah, I mean like 90-ish, 100 minutes or something like that. But like, so, but that doesn't mean I didn't laugh.
Okay.
Right. But I wish they had been a little more disciplined.
You could have laughed more. Yeah,
I bet if they had given it a little more snap and not indulged as much as they did. But on the other hand, maybe that's what people want. Maybe they want to experience this kind of like a variety show. Like, we are going to get a loose story. We're going to get to spend time with Happy, and we're going to just throw a bunch of different cameos in each scenario. And you're going to like kick back and go, oh, I can't wait to watch this sketch, versus like a scene in a movie that feels a little more propulsive and taut, And
okay.
So kind of a mixed bag, but I will say at the end of the day, I did laugh. I wished it had been a little tighter and felt more like a film than like a hangout with these people, because maybe some of it is, not all of it worked for me.
Okay.
But then after, a scene that I didn't feel very strongly about, I was laughing again. And also interestingly, the movie is, in the first movie, Happy's a little bit of a man-child, and he's got a real, anger issues. And that would be weird to see with him in his 50s. And I think interestingly, they've decided like, yeah, no, he's a guy in his 50s. And sometimes he's sad. And like, we're going to be okay with showing him being sad. And, in the first movie, he has a happy place, right? Where it's like this woman in lingerie holding beer in two hands. And this year, now his happy place in his 50s is someone handing him a pair of pants for him, and they're a size medium, and he's like, oh, and then like there's like the sprinklers, and instead of a woman in lingerie, it's a nurse, and she holds up a sign that says cholesterol, and it says good with a check mark in it. And that's really funny. So I do think if people are fans of the first one, it's not a terrible Friday night on Netflix.
Okay.
Right. I might.
Well, then it's a good thing it went straight to Netflix.
I was going to say I might be even like a little more like, if it had gone to theaters.
Okay.
But it's not a bad hang, but I wouldn't have minded if it had felt, like I said, just a little tighter and more urgent and more like a movie versus like, who's going to show up next and let's spend some time with them.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious if you check it out.
Yeah, like I said, I may at some point. But I don't think Amina's going to want to watch that with me. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it's funny because I feel like now that I think about it, that's what I'm saying is sort of like the tug of war with the reviews I'm seeing, where some people just hate it.
Okay.
And some people are like, it was fun. And I really do feel like I was going back and forth as I was watching it, because if a scene worked, I was like, oh, that was fun. And then if a scene didn't kind of work and it kept going and it was like, how many people are you going to stuff into this? Then I was like, okay, next, like ready for the story to continue,
So does he get into a fight with Drew Carey just to keep the prices right?
Oh, that would have been good. But no, there is. I do have to call out Christopher McDonald, because I didn't realize how much I missed him.
Shooter McGavin. He's really fun in this movie. And you can tell he is so happy to be there. And he's like one of the best parts of the movie. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's great. But this is something too where it's a little indulgent, but I did kind of appreciate it, is a lot of people have passed, since the first one, and they all get tributes.
Okay.
And they're totally meta, and call attention to themselves. But that's one of the facets of Sandler that I actually kind of love. Like, he seems
Carl Weathers and
and he seems to love his people, and he cares about his people, and he's willing to stop the movie a little bit to honor friends who are no longer with him. And I kind of appreciated that. I thought that was nice.
Well, you damn sure better honor Chubbs.
That's right. Chubbs. Yeah. I love the first one. It's so good.
Well, I saw a few things, Brian.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So when I was in Chicago, I saw an advanced screening of The Bad Guys 2.
Okay.
Which I should say, by the way, I went to a press screening for this. So this was like, normally I'd be in San Francisco, but the press screening was when I was traveling, so I made arrangements to go see it there.
Cool.
And it was super weird because I'm used to going into, there's like the publicists who I know, and and this is like everything is just slightly off.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was in Shelbyville.
Yes.
Where it's like, who are you? And they have to check my name on the list. But that was odd. But anyway, the movie itself, have you seen The Bad Guys, the first one?
No, but I remember you kind of enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed the first one. Really enjoyed the second one, man. I have to say, this is an animated franchise that I am thoroughly on board with.
Really? Well, so why is that? Why does it stand apart like that?
You know, I think so. So the premise is you have a cast of creatures who are traditionally thought of as the bad guys. So you have the wolf and the snake and the tarantula and the shark, right?
Wow.
And so they essentially are like, well, since we're the bad guys anyway, we're gonna become a gang of criminals, and they execute elaborate heists, Ocean's 11 style.
Okay.
And the first film is all about them trying to redeem themselves. And so this one carries that story forward. And so number one, I appreciate that it kind of carries the ball ahead from where we left it. So there's actually a progression of story. But beyond that, I mean, it really comes down to the voice cast. You got Sam Rockwell as Mr. Wolf. And it's just full on channeling George Clooney as Danny Ocean.
Yeah.
And Mark Maron is the snake.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Right. And he's having a grand old time. And you got like Craig Robinson as Shark, and Aquafina is, you got a whole bunch of people. Anthony Ramos is the piranha.
Those are like all such strong personalities, so I can imagine their voices having tons of character already. Yeah, they animate very well. Yeah, and it's just it's a fun franchise. Like I would love to see more of these because I think it works for the kids. But I genuinely I laugh a lot. I think it's very funny. The stories are pretty clever. It's nice to see them doing something with these films. The first one, I feel like it was one of the first big kids franchises out of the pandemic. And I was glad to see that one do well. I hope this one does well because I mean, there's like 20 books. I didn't know that.
It's like a whole children's book series. So, I mean, I would love to see them keep going with that.
Okay.
Other thing I saw, and by the way, you can read my review in the Chronicle for Bad Guys 2. And another review I did was for Eyes of Wakanda, which is an animated miniseries that's on Disney Plus, and it's short. It's just 4 episodes. And basically, this is the type of stuff I think Marvel should be doing more of via streaming, and we'll talk about this more later, I'm sure. But they have so diluted their brand, that what's put up on streaming needs to be something different, something that you just wouldn't get in a theater. And so this is Ryan Coogler, executive producer. It's an animated series that looks at basically famous historical and mythological events through the eyes of Wakandan agents out in the world. Okay. So basically, in Wakanda, you have, this is an MCU thing. I don't know if I don't know if I buried the lead here. So, we know the Dora Milaje, right? They're the bodyguards. Denai Guerrero, etc. Well, there's also, in addition to them, in Wakanda, there's the war dogs. Okay. And these are the spies, right? So like Killmonger's dad, played by Sterling K. Brown, he's a war dog. Okay. Right. And what's his name? Forrest Whitaker, And basically they're tasked with going out into the world, preserving Wakanda's secrets and retrieving Wakandan technology. Okay. And so, for example, you have one episode where it's about the Trojan War. And you realize how there was a Wakandan agent in the middle of it.
Oh, that's fun.
Right? Yeah. And that's that type of stuff I love.
Yeah, me too.
And so it's literally, each episode is just this vignette throughout history, going from 1200 BC to the 19th century, And you just see all the ways that they've been interspersed throughout history.
I really love that stuff. So
the great thing about, each episode is short. It's just half an hour. And honestly, that's kind of it. That's the cool thing. It's just so short, but it's also, by the time it's done, you're like, oh, well, geez, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's, the animation is really this kind of fascinating, painterly style, Really well done, and it was just a very pleasant surprise for me. So I really enjoyed that.
That's great.
And if you like the whole Black Panther mythology, this one is it ends in a way that like recontextualizes stuff from the first movie
Oh, okay.
in a neat way.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed this.
Great. I wasn't even aware of it, so I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah. If you check it out, I'd love to hear it. And you can read my review for that in the paper. And then also, I just watched a movie that's, as we're recording this, it's hitting theaters now. Freakier Friday.
Yeah.
The 22 years later sequel to Freaky Friday.
Wow.
A
lot of that going around.
Really,
Right?
like I suspect this one is going to clean up because there's going to be a lot of now grown moms who saw this, in the original when they were preteens and teens,
Totally. And, just as an aside, I sure hope so, because when I first heard about this, I assumed it would be a Disney Plus movie, Home Alone 9 or whatever they made.
Hocus Pocus, even.
Did that go straight to Disney Plus?
Yeah. Which was stupid. They left money on the table.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I love, like, take a chance, put it out there, and then, like you said, watch it clean up, because it probably will. And so I like what you said about Eyes of Wakanda. Like, there's certain stuff that's just going to thrive and be the perfect place on streaming. And of course, have your occasional movies. I mean, frankly, Happy Gilmore 2 fit a little bit better on there, I think. But yeah, give this stuff a shot. I'm really happy that it's going to be in theaters.
Yeah, and I'll say, I mean, look, I think.
Uh-oh.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I think the movie will give you what's on the tin.
Sure.
I don't think there's anything particularly earth shattering here,
Sure.
but I don't know that that's what anyone's expecting, really.
Can I ask you a question?
You may.
I saw the trailer.
Yes.
Is it confusing to have so many people swapping bodies?
Yes.
Okay.
So what Brian is referring to is that whereas before you had Jamie Lee Curtis as the mom swap minds with or bodies, whatever, with Lindsay Lohan as her daughter, now we have Jamie Lee Curtis as grandma, Lindsay Lohan as mom, and then we have Lindsay Lohan's daughter, played by Julia Butters from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
which is wild. They grow up so
crazy,
fast.
Right? And she was terrific in that movie, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have her future stepsister, played by Sophia Hammonds. So that's 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, as an older person, I'm more interested in what the original characters are up to.
Sure.
And it was a little bit like, wait, so this is so and so. This, and you're doing long division, trying to figure out who went where.
Well, and it's so fun and like perfect when you have the frazzled mom who has older person problems, and you have the teenage girl who has sort of like a younger perspective, and so seeing the younger person in an older body, fun and easy to clock, and vice versa, right? Like seeing the older person, seeing a teenager be like, now you should be home by this time. Like that's understandable and fun to see. But there was so many characters, and I don't know how different their personalities will feel. So I wondered if it was harder to track who was in which body. And
I would say the movie does an okay job of giving the characters enough of a runway before the switcheroo shenanigans happen, so you're somewhat able to follow it. But it's all there was definitely points where, because you have future stepsister is swapped with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay.
And so it's a lot of, I'm so old, look at these crow's feet, and my skin is shriveling away, and and I peed in my pants, and I need Depends, and all. And at some point I was like, guys, like, go easy on Jamie Lee Curtis, for God's sake.
Right.
And I'm like, I mean, I'm Jamie Lee Curtis said the words, so I'm assuming she was okay with it.
Sure.
But I don't know, it might hurt my feelings after a while.
Yeah, this is what someone like your age is like. Okay.
Right. And then and the other thought that I had was the step sister is English.
Okay.
So she swaps with Jamie Lee Curtis, but Jamie Lee Curtis in future stepsister's body is still speaking with a British accent. And so now this is where my brain starts going into overdrive, where I'm like, wait a minute. Does your accent stay with your body?
See, that's funny because I was thinking, that's a great little detail for me to be able to keep track. This person has an accent. This person is old. This person is young. But so that doesn't even shift.
I mean, just as a matter of science, I think that the accent resides in the mind.
Right.
Right?
Not the hardware.
Now, granted, like, what am I doing trying to find logic in this? But I'm also like, that would have been a funny runner where you've got Jamie Lee Curtis in the body of the British girl, and so she has to like try to do a British accent, and she's bad at it. Like, that would be funny.
Totally.
Right?
Yes, that's a great idea. Yeah.
So that's and this is where and again, I'm like, okay, so we're at 4 switches with Freaky Friday 2 years later. So in 2047, when we do Freakiest Friday, it's going to be like 18 people, and
when it's like a family reunion, you're like, oh
yeah, it'll be 16 people. Just hilarity ensues. Is the movie good? I would say it's good enough to accomplish what it needs to.
Mm-hmm.
I took Inaya, she's 8, so she just watched the original with my wife last week,
mm-hmm.
and I was like, "What'd you think?" She's like, "It was good. It's the same thing."
Oh, really?
So,
very savvy
in that exact tone, and I'm like, that's about right.
Sure.
But I think it will be something absolutely that moms and daughters love bonding with each other with. I think it'll be fun for them. I think the moms will enjoy it more than the daughters.
Sure. Great.
Mark Harmon is back. He played. Jamie Lee Curtis marries his character in the original film,
mm-hmm.
so he's still married to her, thankfully. And I was like, man, that original movie came out like before NCIS.
Oh, wow.
So that was 21 seasons of NCIS ago.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah.
The other thing, by the way, and this is just stuff I realized as I was doing research, is that the original movie, the 1976 movie of Freaky Friday,
mm-hmm.
which stars Jodie Foster, that technically exists in the same universe as these movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you have Mark McClure in the original as like a love interest character who he's in the 03 one as the same character.
Oh, see, I don't even remember that.
It's just like a cameo.
Okay.
And I was like, well, see, we got to like multiverse this shit up.
Yeah, you may as well, right?
You want to get really freaky, you get Jodie Foster in there.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
What the hell? And there's like a 2016 or sorry, a 1996 one with Shelley Long. We should have freakied that one in too.
Well, that's if this one succeeds, that you go in and pitch that for the.
There you go. We needed the post-credit scene.
Yes, exactly.
Shelley Long's door rings and she's like, "It's time" or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking it's like raining outside and Jodie Foster's there. It's like it's happening again.
Jodie Foster with like a shotgun. She's like, "Let's go."
Yeah, right.
And then Shelley Long grabs her purse or something. Anyway, so yeah, that's Freakier Friday.
I remember Lindsay Lohan about the first one that she was like in a band. Does she still do music in this one? Just curious.
Well, as it happens, Brian, I'm glad you asked that question. That's a central element of the plot where she has left behind that music, that rock star life, and it feels like an untended sore, and that she wishes she hadn't.
There you go. Great.
The band was called Pink Slip.
Yes, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Lindsay Lohan, I should say, she is really good in this, and it's so good to see her be good in this.
Good, yeah.
And I hope this is the first step on her doing stuff that's more respectable again.
Absolutely. I mean, she's one of those people where she was like a tabloid darling, right? Like everybody just loved to do all these pictures of her, wild partying and things like that. And I'm sure she made certain choices, but she also was a star in a time where it seemed like the world wanted these people to crash and burn.
That's my exact thought.
You know what I mean?
It's really
they were pushing
unfair.
these people.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And she was sexualized at a very young age.
Absolutely.
And it's really effed up.
Yes. So it makes me happy that she came out the other side of that, and hopefully she can continue to do what she does well now in a world that'll hopefully treat her a little better.
The one hopes, yeah. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention is the love interest. So Lindsay Lohan's character is engaged in this movie to a guy played by Manny Jacinto.
Mm-hmm.
And this man, I was so charmed by him in this.
Yeah, he's in The Good Place, right?
Good Place. That's right.
Yeah.
He was also in he was in The Acolyte last year.
Okay.
And he was like a Sith Sith adjacent character.
Oh, interesting. He's so charming and funny in The Good Place.
This guy needs to be in more stuff. I mean, honestly, like put him in some, or I don't care if it's a rom-com or a romantic drama. He's got the goods.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, good. I'm glad this is a good showcase for him.
Yeah. It really is.
And you think about all of the things that are out right now. It's so varied in a really exciting way. I mean, Naked Gun, Fantastic Four, Weapons is opening tonight. You got this Freakier Friday. Like, it feels like we're healing. Right?
One hopes.
Yeah.
One certainly hopes. Yeah. And here, I can't believe I almost forgot to mention this. I saw Brian. I saw a movie.
Yeah.
I saw a movie. Let me just put there.
Okay.
This is one for the ages. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's called War of the Worlds. It's a remake of War of the Worlds.
Okay. Yes, I've heard of this. I was shocked that there was going to be a new War of the Worlds, and then I was more shocked when I saw some footage from it and realized, oh, that's what this is. So, but I haven't read any of the articles. I don't really know anything more about it than the stuff that's kind of going viral on Instagram and stuff. So please fill me in. This
is very funny because, I saw it. It dropped last week or whatever on Amazon. I think it escaped, and I was up late and I was just fumbling around on my phone, and I just it would never even cross my radar. It's just like I happened to look at my Amazon my Prime Video app, which I never look at, and it was right there. And it's like an hour and a half. I was like, this is interesting.
A new take on War of the Worlds. All right.
Yeah, starring Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Which, look, I like Ice Cube. Not somebody I would necessarily think of in this context, but I was like, all right, let's check it out. And so this is a it's called Screen Life. That's like the genre.
Yes.
Which I didn't even know that was a thing. Like that it has a label.
Yeah, like the John Cho movie.
Yeah, what is that? What is
Searching.
Searching, yeah.
Which is very good, by the way. It's he plays a father, and I think his daughter, I believe, goes missing, and it's about him trying to figure out what happened. But the whole movie, you're basically looking at a computer screen. So all the different ways that he can communicate with people through FaceTime, or then is a Google search, and then there's maybe I can tap into this and look at a security camera to see when was the last time she was in this location, and it's kind of ingenious.
Yeah.
Like you never leave a computer screen, and they're able to tell an entire and affecting story. And yeah, I guess it's called Screen Life.
So Searching is produced by Timur Bekmambetov.
Yep. Wanted.
He did
first
Wanted.
Thing I think of.
He also did the Ben-Hur remake, I think, right?
Oh, I forgot about that.
I feel like wasn't that him? I think that was him.
Yeah, that feels right.
That he also did. He also did a movie which I do like called Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, I should say.
Oh yeah, did he direct that?
He directed that. Yeah.
Kudos. That is a fun movie.
That is a fun one. Anyway, so he did Searching, he did Unfriended. So I guess he kind of pioneered Screen Life.
Okay.
So I admire the desire to expand the boundaries of this format.
Mm-hmm.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I would say maybe War of the Worlds illustrates the limits of this format.
Yeah. Sorry, right off the bat, I'm like, that would be interesting to see it from the point of view of someone in a newsroom.
Right.
maybe, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah, so I think contextually, the film was shot in 2020, so peak COVID time, right? And I think the instinct is, hey, I mean, again, I want to give credit to like, hey, let's do something a little funky, you know?
This is coming into focus now. The more you say, okay,
Right?
okay,
Like,
yep.
I can totally appreciate that. I think this thing is such a mess structurally that the format is like the eighth bad thing about it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because so Ice Cube plays like the head of Homeland Security or something like that. Like he's pretty high up there.
Mhm.
And it's so weird because like he's like all by himself. He's just staring into a screen. And I'm like, I don't know, shouldn't there be more people in Homeland Security? You know?
Right.
And you know, it's like the movie starts and he's like using his position to like spy on what his daughter is doing, and like he hacks her like Wi-Fi fridge thing so he can see like, why don't you have this type of food or whatever, you know?
Okay.
And then like, oh, like he sees his son has downloaded a video game and he hacks into his computer and like deletes the game from his computer, stuff like that.
Wow, this
and it's like this guy seems like a bad guy.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly.
Right. And it's very Ice Cube. That's the thing. Like you can hear it in your head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can hear it.
That's what you hear. That's what's the movie, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
And so then meteors hit Earth, and we see all this through like he's like looking at his Zoom screen, and then he's like pulling up, you know, a news video and stuff. Like it's all as if we're looking at his screen, you know. And then we find out there's aliens. I mean, this is War of the Worlds. It's War of the Worlds. That
okay.
Look up the story of War of the Worlds is basically that. The twist in this is that the aliens are hungry for our data.
Okay.
And so they are devouring our data. And so like our data is getting deleted because the aliens are eating our data.
Wait. Like they want to absorb our data? Or like they just want to destroy it, like eat it, like consume it?
They're
like they want to learn, or they want to just eat it?
Yes.
I was picturing like Johnny Five going through the book, like input. Like I guess that's what I'm curious.
It doesn't make any sense in a variety of ways because it's treating data like it's a finite resource.
Right. So
you know
the more data they eat, like then we lose like information. Like that information
we have
is gone.
Let me put it this way:
record.
there is a scene where Ice Cube, because his wife is dead, by the way.
Okay.
So he's not a sociopath, overbearing parent. He's just a concerned dad because he lost his wife.
right.
So he's like looking at her Facebook page, and like it gets deleted because the aliens have eaten the data. And he's like, fuck! Like he's like so mad.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't think it works that way.
No, I don't understand. I mean,
Right?
if they like blew up the server, that's one thing, but
Yeah. So they
ate it?
They ate her Facebook page.
Okay.
And now bear in mind, he's like, I gotta get out of here, and he tries to leave, but it's locked, so he just stays there, like in the building the whole time.
Okay.
And there's at one point, like his daughter's like, Dad, help me. She FaceTimes him, and he like hacks Tesla's self-driving thing and sends it to her.
Okay.
To rescue her. I'm like, this guy can do everything. Just sit, I'm like, this is terrifying that one man has this much power.
Yeah, right.
And there's like it's like gratuitous Amazon product placement.
So yeah, I've heard this. Yeah,
because it's like, wait, the aliens can find out what's in your Amazon shopping cart. The aliens can see what's in your shopping history. Like they say that a lot.
Really?
Yeah, it's very funny. And then so there's like so much. So Eva Longoria is in here.
Okay.
Clark Gregg is in here. It's a bunch of people. The president is played by that guy who does the impressions. I forget his name. He does really good impressions, and he's in
through IMDb.
There's lots of people who does impressions, but
yeah.
I forget the guy's name. He was in that Fresh Prince episode where he's the professor. He's like the cool professor that Will tries to get into his class.
I do remember that. Oh, wait. Jim
Meskimen. Jim Meskimen.
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And it's really funny because he like Ice Cube has a FaceTime meeting with the president, and you'd think it would be in the Situation Room, but it's like in the Oval Office, so it's clearly like a Zoom background of the the Oval Room, you know?
Right.
You know. Anyway, so oh god. So the daughter's boyfriend
Mm-hmm.
is an Amazon delivery driver. So
Of course.
Of course. So the climax of the movie is that this is the sorry, I'm like talking.
I want to hear it all, Zachy.
So the son, there's like this mysterious hacker who's like, I'm going to expose what the government is doing. It turns out that's Ice Cube's son.
Okay.
And he finds out because Ice Cube plays one of his videos and then he runs it through like the voice, Modulatron 2000.
Yeah.
And
He's able to
unmodulates his voice.
Yeah.
He's like, that's my son. And it's like, well, you've had that thing. That just occurred to you to do that?
Right.
So anyway, son comes up with the virus, and daughter is like a scientist. So she comes up. So they come up with a virus. It's like a cannibalizing virus, but they have to upload it into the server or whatever. This is like the entity in Mission Impossible.
Yeah, okay. Or say like Independence Day, like they're gonna give it a cold.
They're basically
okay.
But the problem is, I was thinking, tangent. I remember like 23 years ago, we watched Signs.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, man, this is like the next evolution of like an alien invasion movie.
Yeah.
And it's like 23 years later, we're here.
Right.
It's like the de-evolution of
the aliens just ate Google Maps. I can't find you.
That's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
So they now bear in mind the aliens have only eaten Meta, not Google, because these guys they're able to upload a video onto YouTube explaining like what's going on,
Right.
They haven't made their way to Google branded products yet. Anyway, so they got to upload the virus. But how do we do that? Oh, you need a thumb drive. And Ice Cube's like, I can't have a thumb drive in here. It's like a secure facility. I'm like, dude, you're doing everything in there. That's like
right. Yeah, right.
And so the solution is boyfriend is like, wait, I'm a delivery driver. I can drone a thumb drive. I can fly a thumb drive to you via drone. And so we watch Ice Cube order a thumb drive on Amazon. He makes the purchase so that it can go through, so that the drone can then fly.
Dude, if it went through the the pay options, it's like, I would like to use my Discover points.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just all the details of ordering off of Amazon.
Yeah, and then and so the drone is going, and then and it falls. It gets hit by it falls, and so they offer a homeless man. They give him $1,000 Amazon gift card so that he'll turn it over. Yeah. So that he'll turn it over and it'll fly again.
Give Amazon gift cards.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was like some Amazon marketer's brilliant idea.
Basically, right? And then anyway, it gets to they get the drone to him, and Ice-T is
or Cube.
Sorry, I don't want to drag Ice-T into this.
Right.
That man is doing the Lord's work on SVU every week.
Right.
Ice Cube gets the drone and the thing, and the aliens are defeated, and then basically he sends a message to everybody. He's like, hey, I've quit the government. Now I'm going to become a hacker with my son, and I'm going to be watching you.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the government knew about it the whole time. That was the thing.
Oh, he's going to be watching the government.
He's going to be watching the government, not the aliens. Because the government knew about it, but they wanted to keep knowing. Because they were like, the more data the government gathered, the more tempting it was to the aliens. But they didn't care, because they want to see what's in people's Amazon carts.
Oh, it's like a metaphor.
I guess so.
Dude, is it worth it? I mean, this kind of sounds fun. Or is it not fun enough?
I would say it is an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So that's
like The Room or something that you watch, like knowing what you're getting into.
Honestly, it is bad to that degree. So I mean, there is a certain amount of fun to be had. I absolutely see this thing becoming like a cult favorite.
Okay.
But it to me illustrates just like, look, there's a limit to every creative choice in terms of how you choose to tell stories. It's kind of like I was so done with found footage movies.
Yeah.
Well, if I never see another Screen Life, I'll be good.
Okay. Yeah. Searching is legitimately good.
Yeah.
I would recommend Searching. I think it's really affecting.
Mhm.
Like it gets emotional and it's thrilling. It's really the best like execution of that concept. But
Right.
what else can you do? Right?
Right.
Like they did it.
Well, and that's the thing. I appreciate the thinking of like, can we find a way to tell this type of story this way? And again, you appreciate, look, it's pandemic time and you're trying to find new ways to do stuff. Everybody, if you remember back then, remember SNL?
Oh, yeah.
Their pandemic episodes. So I appreciate the just taking a swing.
Yeah. And what you mean by that is that everybody had to, shelter in place, stay in their own homes. And so for SNL, they were doing sketches out of their own living rooms.
Yeah, exactly.
And broadcasting those. So yeah, I can kind of see that if this was conceived and like, hey man, let's make something.
Yeah.
In 2020 where we have to be isolated, a Screen Life movie sounds perfect.
Yeah.
But it sounds like, I mean, when you have it being like basically an Amazon commercial and, I still don't understand how the aliens are eating data. It maybe not like the worst. A War of the Worlds Screen Life movie, still to me, I'm like, I can picture a version of that that's possibly good. Or has potential, at least. But it just sounds like a lot of bad decisions, story-wise, with this.
Yeah, I think, again, maybe you can find a way to work around limitations. This does not do that. It's there's one. It's like, because they're eating the data, and then suddenly airplanes are crashing, and it says airplanes. I'm misremembering maybe, but it says airplanes are falling to their deaths.
Like a news headline?
It's like a caption. I'm like,
yeah,
airplanes are falling to their deaths.
Okay, I have two. This either sounds like a project made by 8th graders for an AV class. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, like the aliens are like eating data. What don't you get? That kind of thing. And then someone be like, here, I'll write the news headline. All right, take it, Jeff. Planes falling to their death. Hey, or it sounds like AI. Like if Amazon was trying to develop some sort of AI, you could see it being like, hey, you guess what? You didn't realize this thing was written by AI.
Yeah. So that's what that is.
Wow. That sounds, I don't know if I will get to that point that I put this on, but I am a little tempted by what you're describing.
Watch it on Amazon Prime, or don't.
Watch on Amazon. How can we turn this into an Amazon commercial?
I know.
You know what you need to do? You need to go on Amazon and order yourself some microwavable popcorn.
have a drone flight to your door.
Yeah.
And you'll be in good shape. Hey, we have a whole bunch of mail that's accumulated over the last several weeks.
Oh.
Why don't we dive into the old mailbag?
Mail call!
I believe you have a letter for me.
18,000 letters, all addressed to Santa Claus.
You got mail.
All right, look at this. So here's a note I got from Joshua Polanski on Blue Sky.
Okay.
And he says, funny story. Brian, this is really bananas. He says, my car doesn't have AC. And since I live in Michigan, I just put up with it for the 2 hot months of the year instead of getting it fixed. That means I have to drive with my windows down. A few days ago, it was hot, and I was on my way back from Meijer. You know Meijer?
I do. That's grocery, right?
It's a very Midwest reference, which I love.
Yeah.
And I pull up to a stoplight. I hear 2 voices laughing that sound very familiar. It takes me a minute to realize the car in the turn lane to my right is playing something through their stereo and also has their windows down. And it takes me another minute to realize it was you and Brian.
Wow.
This is so bizarre. I wanted to signal to the other driver somehow that I'm also a movie film listener. I thought briefly about humming the intro tune, but I knew that would only confuse him further. I decided it ain't no Magnificent Ambersons would work. We both laughed and then went our own ways.
Dude, I wish this is where it would be good if this is a video podcast, because my face, like disbelief and joy and utter astonishment. I can't believe that.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow, that's amazing. And that they happen to pull up next to each other in the wild like that. Hello to you both.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That is amazing. And then the Ambersons has become such like a catchphrase. Actually, my friend Jason Thorwell, who listens, we were just talking about something the other day, and he's like, "Well, it's no Magnificent Ambersons," just over text. And I was like, "I love it. I love it."
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Josh.
Thank you very much, Josh.
Seriously, that's just
that makes my year. Like, that's amazing,
yeah, right?
Yeah.
Here's a note I got from Kelly Boucher, who emailed us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. Says, "Hey guys, I loved your comments on Saturday morning cartoons." This was in our previous discussion. As an 80s, 90s kid, I think we were talking about Smurfs. I think.
Oh,
Smurfs,
that's right. Yeah. Because I didn't watch it.
Yes, that's right. As an 80s/90s kid, my Saturday morning path was a yearly ritual to optimize my precious Saturday mornings for another season. This is so funny. I relate so much to that. There's always a challenge to decide which cartoons to watch and which ones to miss. Some of my non-negotiables were Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Real Ghostbusters, Garfield and Friends, and definitely Tiny Toons. I remember my friends being very polarized on Tiny Toons. I loved it for the same reasons you did. Hey, I get that reference. I guess some of my fellow 10-year-olds didn't know who Humphrey Bogart was. Weird.
Right. Why did we, Zachy? I don't know why.
That is a great question, and I don't have an answer. He goes on, plus Tiny Toons left an indelible mark on our society forever. Everyone knows the answer to this question. What are we going to do today, Brain?
Oh, what was that, Tiny Toons? Or was that Animaniacs?
Well, that was Animaniacs,
okay.
But you don't get Animaniacs without
Right.
So transitive property is in effect. Finally, I felt the same way about the Littles.
You're right.
Yeah, we did.
Nobody liked the Littles.
Nobody liked the Littles.
Prove me wrong, people out there. Prove me wrong.
Prove me wrong. I would watch it because in my area it was the last cartoon.
It was.
The other channel. Yeah, because by then nobody was watching. They're like, whatever.
Yeah.
Shove this out the door. We got 13 of these. We got to burn off.
Yeah, and then we have NBA Inside Jam or whatever it's called with Ahmad Rashad coming up, right? That was after
Inside Stuff.
Inside Stuff. Yeah,
that's right. The other channels had already moved on to gardening or sports, like you just said, Brian. But I never loved the Littles, and I couldn't put my finger on why. Maybe because I knew Saturday morning was over and I had to get through another week of school.
Yeah.
Love the podcast. Keep it up. Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly. That was great. That was a little. I was feeling things. I was remembering that feeling of the excitement of navigating. Like, okay, it's beginning, so I hop over to channel 2, and then I'm going to go to NBC, and then I'm going to go back to 2, and then I go to Fox, and then yeah, that sort of, oh, I guess I got to start my Saturday when the Littles are on. That's great.
Yeah, they used to show that in Saudi Arabia when I was growing up. So the way it was in Saudi Arabia is like every weeknight, there would be an hour of cartoons.
Okay.
So you would have for about 40 minutes, you would have like shorts. So like Looney Tunes and
Woody Woodpecker,
stuff like that, exactly. And that was for about 40 minutes. And then there would be the 20-minute like long cartoon, and that long cartoon would air every weeknight until there were no more episodes.
Okay.
Right. So, if there was 26 episodes of a show, that you'd get that for 3 months or whatever it was. Right. So usually these things would cycle through, and inevitably when the Littles came back, that was like, oh, damn it. And you would never know. That was the other thing.
Right.
Like, it was just, you would watch, and then the show would start, and either the show you like would continue airing, or it was done and would be a new thing. And so, the Littles, that was a sign of, okay, well, guess I'm not watching cartoons for a little while.
I was gonna say, is it like that moment on The Simpsons when Itchy and Scratchy go nice? So all the kids are like, "Huh, I guess I'll go outside." And then
I mean, kinda.
slowly everyone exits, and like sort of, winces from the sun, but then picks up a jump rope and a scooter, and
That's basically what it was like. Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, here's a note we got from David from Melbourne.
Hello to Australia.
I know, right? He says, I would just like to say how much I enjoyed your commentary on Superman Returns. I am from Australia, and I'm also a Superman comic book fan, but almost exclusively from the 1980s to the early 90s. I'm also in my mid-40s with 2 kids. Perhaps because of work and parental duties, I still enjoy delving back into these comics from that period, partly due to nostalgia, but also because of the simple joy of the great storylines and artwork of the time. My brother worked on Superman Returns. And by all accounts, Brandon Routh was an extremely nice man.
That's nice. Good.
I also heard firsthand about Kevin Spacey's behavior as well as Bryan Singer's on the project.
Wow.
Yikes. I, like yourselves, was fairly disappointed in the movie despite being invested for several reasons, including loving the character and also because my brother worked on the film. We had Superman 1 and 2 on VHS, and along with Star Wars and James Bond, played them on repeat. You really articulated and crystallized the reasons why this was somewhat of a letdown, although I can revisit it occasionally and enjoy certain moments. I am from Sydney, and there was quite a buzz about all these movies being filmed here, as was the style of the time.
It was, because it was Star Wars, The Matrix, this. It was like a real
bunch, yeah. Hopefully the new movie can capture the spirit of the character, which hasn't really been achieved since Christopher Reeve took the role. Love your podcast and love the sincerity without the meanness. Keep up the good work, David from Melbourne.
Oh, thank you, David.
That was very nice.
I appreciate that account, too. That's really... It's exciting, isn't it? When you have either you're involved or you know someone who's involved with a film and you feel kind of tied with it.
Yeah, well, I feel a little bit of, because when we were growing up, there was a lot of big movies that shot in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I was going to Columbia, there was, they were shooting Road to Perdition and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I
drove out to see how they had done. Was it Geneva where they did that? St. Charles, something like that. But I remember driving over there because it was so exciting to see the lights and the old cars, and that was really special.
Here's a note we got from Philip Barker. This is also in regards to our review of Superman, the new Superman.
Okay.
Which is doing pretty well, by the way. It's been gratifying to see it hold up very well.
Yeah, well, it outperformed Jurassic Park. Like, it's going to be one of the higher movies of the summer, right?
Yeah,
barring
I think
Lilo and Stitch,
Yeah, I think Lilo and Stitch is going to be tops, I think, for the summer.
Yeah,
but doing okay. I think more so domestically than internationally, seems like.
Yeah.
But holding its own,
Yeah, I'm glad.
So Philip says, after listening to a review of James Gunn's Superman, I wanted to write you guys a heartfelt response. First of all, it makes me happy knowing you two love the movie. I say that as someone who frankly wasn't a big fan of much of it, and that largely has to do with the James Gunn factor of it all. The tempo, tone, and execution of the film just wasn't my speed. That said, if there was something I took away from the film at all, and especially after you guys talked so highly of it, was that it worked for so many other people and it gave something to be joyous about in 2025. Of the things I'll say worked for me, I will say that the cast largely did exactly what was asked, and Rachel Brosnahan and Eddie Cathegi were true standouts. Mr. Terrific deserves his own solo project after this film. Meanwhile, I wasn't too favorable of Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor for a variety of reasons. He is a great actor, but the performances and writing left a lot to be desired. I say all of this as someone who likes quite a few different versions of Superman. Maybe my bar's a little too high, but I still think there hasn't been a truly great Superman-Lex dynamic on film that rivals that of Clancy Brown as Lex and Tim Daly / George Newbern as Superman. That's in the animated versions. Because to me, that, and I would agree with Philip there, actually.
Yeah.
To me, that is not only my favorite interpretation of that rivalry, but the best executed. It might be a little unfair to compare live action to animation, but more often than not, some people would go as far as to say that Batman Mask of the Phantasm is the best Batman film ever made. Philip goes on for a little bit, but he ends by saying, as a nearly decade-long listener, I appreciate and value this podcast in more ways than I can count. Looking forward to you guys' thoughts on the Fantastic Four First Steps, as well as the Naked Gun sequel, among many, many more films to come. Thank you for being genuine and honest in your musings. Gentlemen, apologies for the long-winded email, but I'd been meaning to send one for a while, and this seemed like a great opportunity to do so. Much love and take care.
I love it. I really appreciate, thank you, Philip, and thank you for taking the time to articulate, sort of, we had one take and set of feelings on it, and it's really interesting and nice hearing a counterpoint,
Yeah, and I think, look, Phil is coming at it as a fan of the Snyderverse,
Mm-hmm.
and look, I mean that whole journey has been pretty emotionally fraught for the people who are invested in it.
Totally.
Whether people liked what he was doing or whether people liked what Zack Snyder was doing with those films or not. I mean, I think we have to sort of assume good faith that everybody wanted a good portrayal of Superman or version that would withstand the test of time. And the fact that it ended the way it did for Henry Cavill, in fairly ignominious fashion, sucks.
Yeah, definitely.
It just does.
Yep.
And then here is one last note while we're talking about Superman. This is from Dan Kiedis, who says, I hope you're enjoying the end of term and you don't mind my reaching out to you. I haven't seen Superman 25 yet, but I'm currently listening to your Superman episode. He says, I tend to listen right up to the feature presentation part. See, that's helpful, Brian. Having the
demarcation in there.
Yeah. So I'm glad we have that.
Yeah.
I listen right up to the feature presentation part if you're discussing a film I haven't seen but intend to see. As a longtime fan of the show and a former Twitter mutual before I left the bad place, and it is very much the bad place, I know what a colossal Superman fan you are and hoped that it would be okay for me to share this video essay I made with you. This video is a defense of Zack Snyder's take on the character, on which, as I recall, you're mixed to positive. I would say more positive than mixed. And why his interpretation is perhaps more timely now than when the films were released. I don't know how well the themes are reflected in Superman 25 because, as I say, I haven't seen it yet. But as a huge Superman fan whose opinion I respect a great deal, I'd really appreciate it if you could take a look at the link below. And I did have a chance to watch Dan's video, and I thought it was really terrific. So this will be on our Facebook page under the link for this episode. So I hope people will check out his video after hearing this letter.
Great. Yeah, I know I will.
With that, we got two big releases. I figure we can just dive into those, right, Brian?
Yeah.
But before we do that, I did want to take a moment before too much time had passed to mark the passing of Malcolm Jamal Warner.
I'm glad you're bringing this up. Yeah.
Man, talk about, like, we get a lot of these, obviously, right?
Yeah.
This one was a real kick in the stomach.
Just an absolute shock. And especially for people our age, like, we grew up with him playing Theo Huxtable. And he had that rare thing, which was totally from him, where, sometimes you get like a teenage character on a TV show and they're bratty, or they're too hammy, or they're a little insufferable or whatever. Like, Theo is a guy you wanted to be friends with. Like, he was goofy, but relatably goofy. And he was fun and funny and made mistakes, but like learned from his mistakes and was sincere. And like, he was just a incredible character brought to life by Malcolm Jamal Warner. And it really, really broke my heart seeing this news.
So he was 54. I think he was just shy of his 55th birthday.
Yeah.
He drowned off of Costa Rica.
Yeah. I think there's like a riptide or something he got caught up in.
Gosh,
horrifying.
That's like my nightmare,
Yeah.
And worth mentioning that in the decades since the Cosby Show ended, he had never stopped working.
Mm-hmm.
It was remarkable. He was on a show called Malcolm and Eddie with Eddie Griffin on UPN. He was on, Girlfriends, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He was on a terrific show about 20 plus years ago called Jeremiah.
I remember that. Yeah. I remember you being a fan of that.
I was a big fan. It's a sci-fi show where it's like there was something called the Big Death, where everybody over like 30 died.
Mm-hmm.
And so like this was about like a decade after, when all the remaining kids are now adults and they have to rebuild the world,
Mm-hmm.
And it starred Luke Perry and Malcolm Jamal Warner. And now both of those actors are gone.
Wow.
And there's just something about that hits,
Yep.
He had just recently been on a medical show called The Resident. I mean, he's never stopped working, and everything you hear about him is just a decent guy. You know, I saw a post from Keisha Knight Pulliam, who played Rudy Huxtable. You know, just talking about how her brother is gone. You know, and yeah, I mean that Cosby Show legacy is obviously forever tainted.
Yep.
And it's a damn shame because like there was so much good work done on that show by so many people.
You know, it's funny. It's like I almost don't want to invoke that guy, but at the same time, it is such a tragedy that this show isn't airing in reruns all over the place right now. You know, because it should be like I Love Lucy or any of those shows that just continues to air, and it doesn't matter what generation you're from. It's just timelessly funny, and the characters are timelessly, you know, lovable. And it bums me out that maybe, you know, your kids might not know the character of Theo.
Yeah.
You know, it's, yeah. It's a damn shame.
It is. It absolutely is. Yeah. So I wanted to make sure we remembered him.
Yeah. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. But with that, let's get to our two big releases for this week.
Let's do it.
And now we're pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
All right, so The Fantastic Four: First Steps is in theaters now. It's been in theaters for 2 weeks as we're recording this.
Mm-hmm.
Latest from Marvel Studios, and it opened really well.
Mm-hmm.
Second weekend, not so good.
Didn't hold like you would want it to.
Not ideal. Obviously, I'm sure that there's reasons for all that we can get into, but you and I have not discussed this at all while I was on vacation.
No. Yeah.
So I am fascinated to hear your thoughts on this. So this is for those keeping score. This is the MCU's third at bat in movie theaters this year.
Oh yeah. At first I thought you were gonna say with Fantastic Four.
It is also it's the Fantastic Four's fourth at bat, I guess, technically, if you want to include the unreleased one.
Yeah.
But so we had Captain America: Brave New World back in February. We had Thunderbolts at the start of May.
Mm-hmm.
And now we hear.
You know, and it's funny because you think of Thunderbolts, that was the one where people were like, "Hey, this is actually good," but it just didn't perform.
Yeah.
You know, and I've even seen online a little bit people catching it now on Disney Plus and going, "Hey, this was good." Like, yeah. Like, it's hard to get people to show up, I guess, at this point,
you know,
or they need to be convinced.
Before we even get into the movie, can we just this may be covering old ground, but can we talk about how Disney shot itself in the dick when it came to ruining some of the entrenched value of its most iconic franchises?
Definitely. I mean, specifically, yes, with Disney, but you just look at like streaming altogether and how it just made people like become like all the studios became like that wolf where the tongue rolled out of its mouth and it had a fork and knife in each hand. They're like, we can make so much money. And it's just like, it's a lot harder than you think it is. You know,
you're absolutely right. And I think when it comes to Disney in particular, the very thing that they deemed as giving value to its streaming service has devalued its theatrical.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yes.
So we got Pixar, we got Star Wars, we got Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And all three have taken body blows recently.
Yeah. And I mean, for some, it's oversaturation with Star Wars and Marvel. And then with Pixar, it's like they accidentally conditioned people to think that Pixar movies are, you know, that's something you can watch on your couch at home and they aren't worth leaving your house anymore. Yeah. Right.
So with regards to Fantastic Four, I mean, the reviews, very positive overall. Audience scores seem to be pretty good. I saw cinema score was like A-, I think.
Yeah, sure.
So, you know, about what you'd want. But I think there is a sense of, if not, I'm not interested, it's I'll get to it when I get to it.
Totally.
And that's killer, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, my question, did Brian's parents feel the need to go see this one?
Right? Yeah, because back in the day, I remember they're like, "Oh, we're going to go see Captain Marvel because we want to be ready for Endgame." Or was that Infinity War or Endgame?
Endgame.
Endgame, yeah. So I mean, they were doing their Marvel homework at one point.
Yeah.
No, they
Yeah.
have not seen this. I would recommend it to them, though. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm going to start talking about what I felt, honestly, I can't say what I felt because it relates to exactly what you're talking about, which is I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like, this is a really fun superhero movie, and it stands on its own. You don't need to know the other films. And at the same time, I mean, it's not groundbreaking,
No.
and it's just a good, and I mean this in the most positive way. It's a really good superhero movie. But I think all these years in now, and with this many movies coming out a year that are superhero films, is that enough?
Right.
To well, it isn't. I was going to say to perform like they used to, and at this point, it isn't. And I don't know what you do to be groundbreaking again, or earth shattering, or make people feel like, oh, I hear that's good. I'll get to that, because they've seen so much. We talk about the oversaturation. I don't exactly know, but well, we'll get into the details of why I liked it. But I want to hear your opinion.
Well, so yeah, but not to bury the lead. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think certainly of all the Fantastic Four movies up to this point, this is the best one, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that in terms of sort of firing up word of mouth, I think perhaps it had the misfortune of coming so close on the heels of Superman.
Yeah, sure.
Which I think that movie has done more to kind of make people feel like it's something a little different.
You know what's funny? I actually thought Fantastic Four, this is very specific for a certain generation, but Fantastic Four almost feels like a Guns N' Roses record coming out after Nevermind. You know what I mean? Where you're like, oh yeah, no, it's good. But like, have you heard Smells Like Teen Spirit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I definitely like of the I think this year, the Marvel movies for me, I think Captain America: Brave New World. I think what I said back then, I was like, I think it's fine.
Yeah,
I still feel that way. I think Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, on the other hand, I think are very good.
Agreed.
And so the fact that, well, and let me also say, I think Fantastic Four is doing okay, and I suspect it'll stabilize a little bit and end up doing, when all is said and done, it'll have done okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thunderbolts is a disappointment. I don't think Fantastic Four will be when all is said and done.
Yeah, but as the kickoff to a new phase,
yes,
probably not what they were hoping for.
It's concerning because each of these that underperforms or doesn't measure up puts more of an onus on Avengers Doomsday next year to really lift the load.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I start to worry, because that's when I start thinking that the studio is going to get all handsy and try to, you know what I mean?
Sure.
To really make it, be something special, to make it be something that maybe it just can't be.
Mm-hmm.
Right. As far as this movie, I think it helps, honestly, that you and I watched the 05 movie, like just before
Me
this.
too.
There's a little bit of context,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because refresh my memory, but my sense is when we watched the 05 movie, we were both like, this was good for what it was. And it was like a fun oddity, like a throwaway thing.
Yeah.
And I think we were like, if nothing else, the cast really gelled.
Totally.
Right. So I guess the compliment I can pay this movie is the cast gelled even better for me than the previous cast.
They felt a little richer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to take anything away from the original cast, because they were bringing it, and you could tell they were invested in their characters, but it's a different flavor.
Different flavor.
Yeah. But this feels just a little richer.
I think setting this one on a different Earth was very smart.
Definitely. Well, I agree. I don't know, definitely, but I agree.
Yeah, I think for me, I was like, I liked obviously the future retro future Jetsons aesthetic that they have going on.
Yep.
But also, I think it mattered for this story that the Fantastic Four be the only heroes in order for the story to work.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that where the movie leaves things, it makes me excited to see where things are going to go next, you know? And I think ultimately that's what Marvel's hoping for. We've already gotten the tease at the end of Thunderbolts, so we know that they're showing up, you know, and gonna mess around with the other Marvel characters.
Yep.
So I'm like, you know, it left me at a place where I'm like, okay, well, I want to see that.
Totally.
In terms of the cast, obviously you mentioned Eben Moss-Backrack, he was great. But I loved Joseph Quinn in this.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, when I say like that, it's not like earth shattering. It's like, because we've seen so many movies where people can fly and a big guy is there and they got to stop the big guy. But why I really like this movie was the characters. I feel like each character got a solid moment that made them feel like a real person and very interesting.
Absolutely.
And they got to be interesting against one another. And there was like cool events that happened in this movie that I think about where I'm like, oh, I really enjoyed this event. I enjoyed when this character experienced this. There was enough of those, more so than I feel like I've felt in a while. Certainly with something like Brave New World.
Yeah.
That made it feel like strong. Right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I that was definitely my thought. I was like, you know, the Human Torch gets his moment to shine. You know, I think the Thing gets a lot of great character beats. Vanessa Kirby, who I've been a fan of for a while, she really is like the beating heart of this movie in so many ways. And I know there's been like this whole thing like, oh, Pedro Pascal's overexposed or whatever, which like I guess, but that's not really his fault.
You know what's hilarious? In my head, thinking of my response that was forming in my brain, it was literally, I guess. Like, because I feel the same way. Like, I mean, just the way that things have been released, that we're getting a lot of him, but like, I don't know, I like him.
I like him. I think he's good. I think he does something a little different with this. I liked his version of Reed. I kind of liked. First, I've said this elsewhere. I don't remember if I said it on the show, but Pedro Pascal to me looks like a Jack Kirby drawing.
Yeah.
And so I think it's very appropriate that he's playing Reed Richards. I like the way the movie visualized Mr. Fantastic's powers.
Which they hold back on a little bit till the end, huh?
They do, right? And even then they sort of establish some limits.
Which I kind of liked, because that's one of my main complaints with superhero movies is it's always like a fight begins, they pummel each other for 5 minutes, and then for some reason they stop and no one won or lost. Right. And in this, we see some limits, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that could hurt him like that. Well, stop. You know? Right. So then I'm invested.
Exactly. Right. I think you need that. And I also, because the issue with the prior films, and maybe this was as much a result of technology not being up to it, is that I never bought sort of the physics of how he stretches. And I kind of it feels like this movie, they borrowed a page from how Pixar did Elastigirl in Incredibles movies, in terms of how Mr. Fantastic bounces and stretches, and that it just made it, my mind bought it more, you know?
That's a good point, because I mean, it is what it is when you watch those early 2000 ones where VFX were at the time. But they literally do feel like someone just was like an Adobe or something and just pulled on arms and like, it doesn't really look like a human arm anymore. Like there's no bicep and there's no forearm and there's no elbow, and it's just like stretching the image or something. It looks a little wonky. But that's well put. There's like a real squash to it that feels understandable.
Yeah, you know, and I think to me, the portion of the movie I found most interesting was up to and including the, you know, when they go off into space, right? So that's whatever it is, half hour, 40 minutes, and it's just character stuff. It's how they are with each other. It's how they are with the world, and you know, like all of that stuff. I found that somewhat novel, and that's what I liked about it. The dynamics of this team being a family. They did such a good job of really articulating it clearly. It right away makes it different from, you know, the Avengers or whomever. And so you're like, oh, they'll bring a different dynamic to the whole gang whenever that happens.
Yeah, I mean, to call it something specifically, Reed, when he's talking to Sue basically, he's trying to come out with all the potential outcomes or something, or all their options. And his options tend to like lean dark, or all the outcomes lean dark. And Sue is like, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, this really bothers me.
Yeah.
Like, I know like you're really brilliant. And so that's why you think those things, or maybe that's his defense, is like, I have to think those things so we can think of something better.
Yeah.
But she's like, as his wife, like, it just bothers me you would even say some of these things.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like, in a superhero movie where that's one of the moments that I remember afterward, that dynamic between the two of them, like, that's why I enjoyed it like I did.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I guess high level, what I would say to people is it's going to give you enough of the familiar MCU flavor that that you like, presumably, but it's also going to give you something different enough that you'll feel glad that you watched it.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I mean, also Julia Garner is a Silver Surfer. I guess I didn't know what to expect. Oh, I didn't tell you this, but I did watch the sequel, Rise of Silver Surfer.
Oh, this is kind of like a pseudo remake of that, isn't it?
Kind of, yeah. And he feels, I mean, I'm sure it's related to the comics, but just a little, he's voiced by Lawrence Fishburne, and he feels a little, I don't know, ethereal or something, or like not quite relatable, but it wasn't bad. It was fine. But I like that we dig into this Silver Surfer.
I agree.
And she's got an arc.
Yeah.
And I actually found it really potent. And one of the big things I took away from the movie. And I liked when she was struggling. I guess I'm trying to dance around, not getting spoilery, but like, there's like a moment where she's suffering, and I really felt it, and I felt for her. And I liked her arc in this. And I thought that was another standout thing for the movie.
Yeah. Any other non-spoiler stuff that we wanted to talk about?
They do interesting things with their abilities. Like, they don't do as much as the Fox movie did. Like I was saying, they withheld Reed's stretchiness a little bit toward the end, so we don't really see him in the lab. Where's my pencil? And then stretching across.
I was thinking we'd get more of that, to be honest. Yeah,
me too. But with Sue and her invisible abilities, there's a moment where Reed's sort of worrying about the health of their child, and she makes her stomach invisible so they can check on him. And I was like, great. Wow, what a great idea.
Yeah.
Like, that's really so, there's like clever implementation of that stuff. And then, of course, again, I don't know how much to say or not, but like, there's the baby's born, very exciting scene.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that was very cool. And then you got, again, I don't, whatever.
Well, okay, so I'll say a couple non-spoiler things. We were talking about Johnny. Again, Joseph Quinn, I thought, did a great job. I like that the movie, it starts with like kind of we see like archival footage of them, before they go off in space. And Reed is like, these people with me are the most brilliant scientists I know. And I like that the movie introduced that aspect of like, these are all very smart people.
Yes.
And it makes Johnny Storm not an idiot.
Yes. Like a himbo.
Exactly. Which the Chris Evans version leaned into a lot. This one almost virtually eschews that, but the part of the solution rests with Johnny, and he arrives at it in a very intelligent, scientific way, which I was like, hey, that's great. I like that.
Me too.
And then also Herbie the robot. Can I get a Herbie the robot, please?
Right.
That guy was just friggin' adorable.
Yep.
So Herbie the Robot, fun fact, originated in the 1978 Fantastic Four animated series.
Oh, okay.
Because at that time, he was a ringer for the Human Torch. Because for whatever reason, Marvel had licensed out the rights to the Human Torch separately.
Interesting.
So they didn't have him to use in their own Fantastic Four cartoon.
Huh. So they invented Herbie the Robot. To sort of take the place. Huh.
Right. And so I love that, several decades later, almost 50 years later, they rope him back in and they make him bring him back into the pop culture spotlight.
Yeah, he was cute. I liked him.
I liked what I loved. First of all, he's got his little and everybody understands what he says.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like a little thing I noticed the second time is anytime he goes near Johnny and he gives Johnny something, Johnny scratches the top of his head.
I did notice that. Yeah, that was cute.
I just thought that was really cute.
Yeah.
Spoilers?
Oh yeah. I didn't know if we were going to do it. Yeah, definitely.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Spoiler.
All right, so we finally get to see Galactus.
Yes, and
he's not a cloud.
He's not a cloud. I was going to say I've lamented a little bit about how now that we've seen everything, because visual effects make everything possible, now even incredible things seem less spectacular or thrilling to me as an audience goer. But like the way that they conveyed Galactic, the villain
Galactus.
Scale against New York, I thought was like breathtaking.
Yeah, really effective.
Very effective. Very cool.
So he's portrayed by Ralph Ineson, who brings a proper, sense of ominous sort of villainy, but also like a little bit of humanity,
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily want to be doing what he's doing. I don't know if I completely understood it, if I'm being honest. Like he felt like he could pass the mantle or the thirst that he had to devour worlds on and be free of this thing. It was like a burden to him.
Yeah. So, well, in the comic books, Galactus is basically an explorer from another universe who, ventured too far into, things man is not meant to know kind of stuff.
Okay.
And so he ends up being transformed into Galactus, who serves a universal function, which is that due to his hunger, he thins out the universe. So he serves a necessary role, but obviously, there is an element of tragedy as any good Marvel character, So I think they did a good job portraying that. I also, by the way, he's Vigo, like he's just Vigo from Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
So I think that makes the Silver Surfer, Peter McNichol.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. The Herald.
Be the child that I may live again. And then she's like, the child? Ah!
Holy crap. Yeah, you're right. Way more than I even realized.
It's a Rise of the Silver Surfer smushed with Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
You get Fantastic Four stuff.
Yeah.
It ends with Sue dying, just like the other movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then she's brought to life with the power cosmic, just like that other movie. So
I got to say, it really worked for me. There was like a split second. They went just far enough where I was like, "Oh, are they really doing this?"
Dude, for me, there were times that when Galactus is stretching Reed like taffy.
Yes, which you were alluding to earlier.
I was like, is he going to die?
Yeah, I don't know if I even thought that, but I was like, oh, so there is a limit.
Yeah.
Like he can be stretched too far, and I really like that. And then so like I said, if there was like a fight and I knew there was no limits, I would just be like, okay, yep, and then we'd move on to the next thing. But in this, it made me lean forward in my seat and go like, well, help him.
Like, see, I think for me, knowing it's an alternate Earth, there was like a small part of me that was like, they have a little bit of license to kill folks off.
Yeah.
So like near the end, when it looks like Johnny's going to sacrifice himself, I was like, is Johnny about to die?
Yep. And I think they got the best of both worlds there, and they pulled it off where he got to have his heroic moment, and I bought it, and I knew he would have done it. And that makes me love him.
But that's right. Yeah.
But then they get the best of both worlds. Then Silver Surfer gets her moment.
Yeah.
And that meant a lot to me after, like, she got her redemption.
Yeah.
And there was actually a shot that I really liked. Sometimes I complain about movies where they don't do enough close-ups because I really want to like get into the person's sort of feelings. And they did this sort of almost fisheye thing on her as she was like determinedly, sacrificing herself. And I was like, it gave me that moment to be with her and go, oh, she's choosing this and she's going to go out a hero. And I
Mhm.
really appreciated that choice.
But yeah, to the point you were making earlier, I mean, I think when we think Sue is dead, the way Pedro Pascal plays
Yeah.
it, and just that all totally worked for me.
Yeah, same.
You know, and I think as a matter of contrast, you know, the earlier film, Rise of the Silver Surfer, I don't think you ever doubt that she's going to come back to life.
Mm.
The Jessica Alba one, you know?
Sure.
And I think part of that is just that's the nature of that film, which is more of a lark, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like a film school assignment, you know? You take the same setup and how do you execute it?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, for sure.
Right, just wring a little bit of drama out of it, just a couple more seconds. I think when they put the baby on her chest,
Mm.
and it's like, what's gonna happen? You don't know, genuinely, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it works. So in the comics, Franklin Richards is like the most powerful mutant in the universe.
Oh,
and so, you know, but he's obviously like an eternal child in the Marvel time, but it's not like in the future, one day he's going to become, you know, the most powerful of all. So like, how is he going to be raised? Who's going to raise him, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. Well, calling out specifics that you alluded to earlier with Johnny having his moment, like him working backwards to learn the language, Silver Surfer's language. I thought that was a really cool moment for him. You know, showing his smarts. So yeah, I enjoyed that. And then him going out there and having the standoff with her, and yeah, like every character got a great moment in this, I thought.
I think so. Yeah. I think that, you know, there was a lot of consternation when it was first announced that the Silver Surfer in this film would be the female version, would be the Shalabal version.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that but for context, the traditional Silver Surfer in like the mainline Marvel universe, his name is Norrin Rad.
Mm-hmm.
And Shalabal is his love.
Mm.
And so he sacrifices his own humanity to protect his planet and his love.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this, they made, and there's precedent because there's, you know, this is like another universe. There's like a Shalabal Silver Surfer.
Right.
So it's not invented from whole cloth. But I like that they made it, she's like a mirror image of Sue in a sense, right? Because they're both driven by motherhood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Shalabal sacrifices her humanity to protect her child and her planet.
Mm-hmm.
And Sue is driven by that same need to protect her child.
Right.
You know, so I think it allows for a richer arc for both characters.
Yep.
You know, I love where Sue, you know, you have all the people who are like, oh, Galactus says if you give him your kid, he'll save the planet. So give him your kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what you were talking about earlier. Reed's like, you can see why it's mathematical. It's available, right?
Right.
He's very clinical, you know?
Yeah.
But then what does Sue do? She goes out there. She's like, this is Franklin. And she says, I'm not going to sacrifice my son for this planet, but I won't sacrifice this planet for my son.
Amazing. Yeah.
Right?
Loved it.
It's so great,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's the trick about Vanessa Kirby. She just she's sort of luminous, you know?
Mm-hmm.
She just carries this authority with her. I don't know. I absolutely loved her in this movie.
Yeah. Same.
You know?
Yeah. She always shines. I mean, you think of Mission Impossible, and she usually shows up for like 2 or 3 scenes or something, but she always pops.
Yep.
You know,
Hobbs and Shaw.
Oh. Yeah, that too.
That too.
Mole Man. I love Paul Walter Hauser.
He's having a good couple weeks.
Double feature this week with him.
Well, you know what's funny is there's him because he's in Fantastic Four, and then a week later he's in The Naked Gun. Natasha Lyonne.
Oh yes.
She was a voice in The Bad Guys 2.
Oh.
And then a week before that, she was a voice in Smurfs.
Wow. Yeah, she's having a moment. I mean, she had Poker Face too. That was season 2, I think, was recently on Peacock.
She's overexposed, if you ask me.
Yeah. Again.
Yeah. Yeah, Paul Walter very funny. So he's playing the Mole Man, who's a character from the comics, but he also comes across like the Underminer from The Incredibles.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the inherent problem
Yes.
with the Fantastic Four, is that the Incredibles got there first.
It's like the John Carter of Mars problem.
It's totally that.
Yeah.
You know? And so in a way, I'm kind of glad that there is so much distance because what made the '05 movie however it is was because they were trying deliberately to differentiate it from the Incredibles.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like that there's been so much distance now between not just those earlier films, but also the Incredibles, that this can be more unabashedly what it always is anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that seems to be the secret sauce, which seems so obvious. But with Feige, he was like, hey, if they wear a yellow and blue suit, they're going to wear a yellow and blue suit because that's what it is. And that's what's cool. And people will like it because I think it's cool and they'll think it's cool too. You know what I mean? I love that. Yep. And it's just leaning into exactly what it is. And then you get the best versions of all this stuff.
I agree. Yeah.
I love Mole Man when everyone's going underground. He's like, please wipe your feet. Just kidding. It's all dirt.
I like where he's like, hey, Johnny, don't get mad at me. I'm not the one who dressed you.
Yeah. It makes a lot out of little screen time.
Yeah. Well, Paul Walter so good at that.
Yeah.
Just in general. Here a little fun fact. This is Earth 828. The traditional MCU Earth is, of course, 616. Mm-hmm. This one's called 828 because Jack Kirby, co-creator of Fantastic Four, was born August 28th.
I like that.
Nice little tribute. And there's a scene where when the Silver Surfer arrives on Earth, you get various people looking. You see inside a comic book art studio, and you see two people who I'm fairly certain are meant to be Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
Oh, I did notice that.
Which, yeah, that was only something that popped up in my second viewing.
Yeah.
We also get cameos from the cast of the 1994 unreleased Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, where were they? I knew that before I saw it, but I actually don't know who they are. So where were they?
So I saw that I saw there is, first of all, during that big montage where everyone's like, thank you, Fantastic Four. There's one where all four of them are together saying that.
That's great.
And then also there is a newscast when it's like, Sue Storm is expecting her baby and the countdown is on. That's Alex Hyde White, who played Reed Richards in the earlier film.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I am pretty sure I saw Michael Bailey Smith, who plays Ben Grimm. He plays like a construction worker.
Well, I think that's really cool. For people who don't know, there was a point where, a Fantastic Four movie was made, but the only reason it was made, this was in the 90s, right? It was the only reason it was made was to keep the rights to the Fantastic Four. Mm-hmm. And so they made a movie that was never intended to be released. It was only made for $1 million to keep the rights somewhere. Yeah. So these people are acting their hearts out and thinking they're going to be in this cool superhero movie. Little do they know, right? They weren't aware that this movie was never going to see the light of day.
Exactly.
And so it's become sort of like a, cult artifact, right? At Comic-Cons throughout the years where you could see a bootleg version of this movie. So people know who was in it. They know the story, but most people have never really seen the film. So to have those actors, after everything they went through, get to be in this big version of the movie and even have lines,
like acknowledging their place in the lineage,
Yeah, I think that's really thoughtful and cool.
There is a documentary about all of this. It's called Doomed, which is you can watch for free. It's on YouTube. So
nice.
Highly it's a fantastic documentary.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
That was unintended, but it worked out well.
Yeah.
But that was cool. It was nice to see them acknowledged.
Totally.
We haven't really talked about Ebon Moss-Bachrach.
That's funny. I was going to bring that up because when you brought up Natasha Lyonne, I wouldn't have minded one more scene with them.
I agree.
He felt maybe
it's like something got cut out.
Yeah, exactly. It did feel that way. And I if it's to be believed, there was a lot of behind the scenes talk about a lot of reshooting on this.
Okay.
And
as with all of these Marvel movies.
As with all of them. But it did feel, he brought a lot just because I like that actor and he made that character thing feel soulful.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have minded a little bit more with him. I think he was probably the most underserved of the four.
I agree. Well, I think, we get the scene between him and Reed, which I really liked, where he's like, "Hey, stop beating yourself up.
Yeah.
It's not your fault," kind of thing, which is nice.
Mhm.
But I think I would have liked one scene of him grappling with the fact that he's beating himself up. That Ben is that he's not happy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he puts on a front, but he's fundamentally not happy to look that way, because who would be? You know?
Yeah, and I know it's a much bigger on the nose moment, but I love it in the 2005 version. But when his fiance or wife or whoever it is, takes her ring off her finger and sets it in the middle of a freeway, which is really weird.
Because she's a horrible, horrible person.
Yeah, listen to the commentary. We get into it. But for him to be so sad and to want to pick up the ring just to look at it, but he can't do it because of his hands. His fingers are too big.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have minded. It didn't have to be that big,
right? But
some sort of moment where we get a little more interiority with him, and I think we got a little bit of that with the Leon character, and and it seems like he has a crush on her. It's all very like teased and sort of.
It's very chaste.
Well, very chaste, but also like, so does he know her? Like, he wants to talk to her. Like, it's kind of nice when he showed up at the end.
It's clearly like he's got some kind of feelings for her.
You can connect the dots, but I wouldn't have minded, just like, to your point, even if it was just something on his own. Maybe he's even looking at a picture of himself in a picture, and then his reflection of his new face is over it, and he looks away, or just to understand the guy even just a little bit more.
I think that one scene where they're talking to each other, and she just like holds his hand or something.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. She's not afraid of touching him, or
right.
His hand is his hand, and she wants to hold it. That would have been nice.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. That said, the visualization of the thing is the best I've ever seen. He looks fantastic.
Yeah, he looks really good.
He looks just like the comic book version. Yeah,
you mentioned that during the commentary, the brow.
Yep.
That he has.
Yeah. They really nailed it.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. I don't know that I entirely agree, but I did sense this a little bit. But a friend of mine who saw this movie, who liked it, he was like, it was good. I liked it. He's like, I think if I had some sort of issue, it'd be that none of them felt like a main character. So, like, they're all like pretty interesting, and together, like, yeah, they make this team, the Fantastic Four, but like none of them, like Reed didn't necessarily feel like a leader, and Sue gets some strong moments and things kind of interesting, but like we were just saying, we don't entirely understand what's going on inside. And so just compared to Superman, where you're like, well, yeah, I'm going to go see Superman. But when you see the trailer for this movie, it's like, all right, who's the person like I'm attaching myself to? It's like they feel like four kind of main characters in the film. That was what he was saying, and I sort of understand what he's saying.
I agree with that to an extent, but I would almost disagree with that as a critique. I would say that that's the point.
True, but like if you're someone who's trying to get someone to see the movie,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, maybe that it doesn't pop like a Superman on a poster, where you got four people and you're like, well, who's. Like, they're all kind of equally interesting, but maybe it doesn't. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, to me,
I wish he was here to say it better than I'm saying it right now.
Yeah, better than you screwing it up. No, but I concede the point, but I would say that is the point, though.
Mm-hmm.
The same way, like, I'm not interested in Mr. Incredible by himself. I like him as part of the family.
Totally.
So that's where the Fantastic Four is different from the Avengers. Because the Avengers are all characters, like Captain America has his own adventures.
Yeah, they're a group of main characters.
Yeah, and then they all get together and they have some fun adventures together. But the FF is the FF, right? There's like to me, I mean, granted, the Thing had his own like solo title for a little while, and it was fine. But to me, none of these characters are interesting apart from each other.
Right.
Yeah. It's the family dynamic that makes me that makes me interested in them.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I mean, you basically said what he said, and he was like not sure how he felt about it, but you see that as a strength. I find that interesting.
That's right.
But yeah, I would say if it's too bad if the poster or the trailers or something didn't make this movie feel like it would be something different or that they would get a lot out of. Like, okay, well, maybe I'll just wait for the one where Robert Downey Jr. comes back. But
Yeah.
my selling point would be it does have enough moments where the characters pop and where they pop individually, they pop against one another, interacting with one another. There's like the scene where Sue's giving birth and they're like traveling around a black hole and Silver Surfers surfing stardust to catch up with them. Like, I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like there are strong moments in this movie and maybe it's hard to convey in a trailer or something. But, yeah.
I presume that these characters are going to be pretty important to Avengers Doomsday. And so at the very least, I think that a lot of the ones that people have missed, people will come back and check out,
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it comes down to for me is that what we saw during the Infinity Saga was that the Marvel films were a rush out and see it theatrical event. And one thing you used to say all the time during those days is that it's essentially a TV series. And so, like many TV series, people are just waiting to watch it, and they'll just catch up all at once.
Yeah, and I have been thinking about, because I do feel that this is a good one, and I do think this is one, if people are being a little choosier, I think this is one worth checking out. But then I've gone back and reevaluated what I've said about some of the other ones, because I remember not being too hard on Brave New World, which I would say is much more less than this one.
I agree.
But I was like, well, so was I not being truthful? And I was like, well, no, I am. I think I am measuring it against maybe even my expectations of it. And to what you just said, I am kind of viewing it as just one long TV show, and I watch every episode.
Right.
And some I have outright not liked.
Yeah.
But Brave New World, I was like, look, is it as good as the others? Like, not really. Maybe like middle-ish.
Right.
It had its moments, but no, I mean, overall it's not as strong and whatever. But like, did I mind tuning in that week for it? I can't say I did.
I think for me, Brave New World, what makes it value added is you get a kick-ass performance by Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Playing in this playground that I enjoy.
Exactly that. But then I guess if I'm going to say that, I don't want to like confuse people and say that I think that one's as good as this. Like, that's like not a terrible episode in this television series, quote unquote.
Yeah.
You get some things that are kind of interesting. Not the best, not the worst. But this is one of those ones that's like a standout episode, I think, especially of late.
Yeah. And well, okay, I guess there's Spider-Man 4 is the next one out the chute, right?
Do you think I've seen so much behind the scenes about that, almost like an unusual amount. Do you think that's them sort of like trying to be like, it's coming, Spider-Man's coming back?
I don't doubt that that's a part of it. And there's a lot of him like actually swinging around doing some of that, like a lot of practical.
Which looks awesome.
Friggin' amazing, right?
Yeah. I sent you this picture. I don't think it was a set photographer. I think it was just like an amateur on the street.
Yeah.
And he captured Spider-Man on this rig, swinging, following a bus, but from a distance, like sort of like telephoto lens sort of looking effect on it. And it looks so real, like as if someone on the street held up their phone and was like, oh, there's Spider-Man swinging by again. And it just like delighted me. It just looked so cool. Like what I want out of these movies, I realize there are limitations and you have to do certain visual effects and whatever, because you just can't have a guy flipping through skyscrapers. But like, if you can get a couple shots like that, the verisimilitude of it, just like,
oh yeah,
hot damn, like that is what it would look like if Spider-Man existed swinging through New York. That's exciting.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, the first Andrew Garfield movie did a lot of that.
Yeah.
And it looked fantastic, you know?
Yeah.
Or one might say amazing, it looked.
I was like, I'm not going to call it out anymore.
Yeah. What the struggles Marvel has had post-COVID, post-Endgame, which happens to coincide with COVID, some of them are self-inflicted. Too much content.
Yep.
Putting subpar content on streaming.
Yeah.
Devaluing the brand. The other stuff is they were putting characters in place who were kind of meant to shoulder the burden. What happened with Chadwick Boseman? Obviously, nobody could have, anticipated that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a body blow, you know?
Yep.
I think they've been trying to set new characters up to slot in, and it's not Anthony Mackie's fault. He's not Steve Rogers,
Right.
That I'm down to see more of Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson Captain America, but there's no doubt people miss the other Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Fantastic Four to me is one of the instances where they're putting new characters on the board who I'm excited to see more of.
Mm-hmm.
I can't necessarily say that about the Eternals or whoever.
Yeah.
Right. That said, I saw the picture of Tom Holland. It's like the little teaser that they put out.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, this guy, he's a man now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like pushing 30 now.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, he's been doing this joint for a long time.
It's funny. Tom Holland was in Cinematrix this morning.
Oh, yes.
That's
That's
I don't know if you did it yet. But then I was like, I was writing all the Marvel movies he was in. I was like, oh, wow, he's been in a lot.
He's been, I know. That's always a good thing because you can sort of figure out what the less remembered one to get your score down.
Yep.
Although, it's funny. Lawrence Fishburne was, I think, in Yesterday's.
Yep.
And then you were like Rise of Silver for Surfer. And I was like, oh, God damn it. That would have been a good one.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, based on where we're at now, so we got Spider-Man is next out the chute, and the next December is Avengers Doomsday. Obviously you and I were both going to watch Avengers Doomsday anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm more intrigued now based on the teases that we've had, based on the stuff that we've gotten this year than I was a year ago, let's say.
Yeah, for sure.
We do get that little mid-credit tease.
Oh, yeah. Wow, I forgot all about those.
Yeah, which I think is a scene from Avengers Doomsday, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, it was shot by the Russo brothers, right?
Yeah.
That's my understanding. And I thought I read somewhere that it actually was Robert Downey Jr., even though you don't see his face.
I'm wondering if the reason we don't see his face is so that they could have saved some of that RDJ bucks that they got to dish out all the time.
I mean, it would make way more sense if we didn't see him.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it's a good tease. It's a good setup.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another thing I wanted to say. So at the end of Thunderbolts, post-credit scene, we get the shot of the Fantastic Four ship coming through the portal. And I don't know, I think we even talked about this. You sort of get it leaves you with at least some expectation that they don't save their world.
Right.
So I went into this movie with that existing as a possibility in my mind, which actually made it a very pleasant surprise that they do save their world.
That would have been kind of funny if it ended with them piling into the ship like, we got to get out of here. Sorry guys, we were wrong.
Bye.
yeah later.
Oops.
And then Fantastic Four, they just like directed by, like
all the photos and everything.
Yeah. Disappointed human faces moments before their extinction, watching the ship take off.
People just people looking soberly to the sky. Thumbs up for the Fantastic Four first steps.
Yep.
All right. Hey, well, it doesn't end there, Brian.
No.
Let's get naked. I'm already there.
Oh, are you? Yeah, that's why I knew there's a good reason this wasn't a video podcast.
You think I wear pants when we record? The Naked Gun is in theaters as we record this, and it is not in the title, at least, from the Files of Police Squad.
Oh, yeah.
But it remains so in our hearts. So this one, now can I say this? You got to see like an early screening of this.
I did. Several months ago, I saw a test screening of it.
And so I have to say, Brian didn't tell me anything about it.
But I didn't want to run it. I mean, this is a movie where you tell the jokes.
This is the thing. And I was just like, did you see it? I was like, yeah. Or I said, did you see it? And he said, yes. And I said, what'd you think? And he wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
And so I was very jealous. But I watched it. And did you watch it again? Have you seen like the finished version?
I have, yeah.
Okay. So the movie's 85 minutes long. And I would say I spent about 78 of those minutes laughing.
I have to tell you. So I guess I should go back. So I was very nervous about this movie. And I used to live in an area where there were test screenings every single week. Well, actually, I mean, I kind of still do. Like, I just every week there's something going on, but you have to wait in line, and you might not be guaranteed a seat. And so I've been going less and less. But sometimes there's a movie where I'm like, oh, I have to know. And so anyway, The Naked Gun was playing, and I was like, oh, I'm just so nervous about this being good. I have to know early. And it was really awesome getting to go in a completely packed theater, and I'm talking every demographic represented, every age represented. And even part of me kind of wondered, like, oh, I didn't know who the fandom in 2025 was for this series, right?
Right.
And in the beginning, where you see that picture of Leslie Nielsen as Frank Drebin on the wall, the audience erupted in applause.
Nice.
At this test screening. And I was like,
that makes me happy.
Wow. Okay. And I mean, the whole way through, the audience was roaring, and I had the greatest experience. I thought it was really fun and funny, but then I couldn't talk about it with anybody. You know, I mean, you literally sign something that you won't talk about it. And so I was like waiting, because I was like, I think this is really good, but I don't know, maybe it's like the heat of the moment, you know, when you're with everybody who's laughing around you. Like, maybe I'm wrong, and I'm going to say, oh, it's good, you should go see it. And then everyone's going to go, what were you talking about? You know, my Electra experience. I've been burned before. So it makes me really happy that it's been getting great reviews. And then you texted me about one moment specifically, and how you were like in stitches. And I was like, oh, okay. So that what I was feeling, I was like on the right track. Like I felt validated.
It was so refreshing seeing a movie like that. I mean, honestly, it feels like an artifact, doesn't it? Like,
you know why? For so many reasons. A comedy in the theater is one. Sorry to cut you off, but I'll just say this one specific thing. And I think this is maybe what you're about to say. It's not topical.
Yeah.
It's not about anything in this moment, and it's not even about pop culture in this moment. It's just jokes. It's jokes everyone can laugh at. It's 85 minutes of stuff anybody can laugh at. And I can't remember the last time I saw something like that.
Yeah. I think the most topical it gets, I would say, is like to me the Danny Houston character feels vaguely Elon adjacent.
Totally. But he could still be general enough that it's not.
Right in the most non-specific, you know, if you know kind of way.
Yeah.
But just the staging, you know, the this is in the trailer, you know, the opening sequence, which is this bank heist, you know, and then Frank Drebin Jr. shows up, and I love how it echoes the opening scene of the first film, right? Mm-hmm. But what this movie does is that that tricky thing where it puts a comical character into a serious situation.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it funny. I mean, Leslie Nielsen, that's what he did in those earlier films, right? He was a serious actor doing comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And so he played it straight, you know, and I think Liam Neeson, it's almost incongruous, the idea of him playing Leslie Nielsen's son, but it works so perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I think, honestly, when I saw the trailer, I didn't exactly love that moment where he's the little girl and then he rips the head off, because it was just so fantastical and weird.
It works better in context, in my opinion.
I think it works better in context, but it just it's what made me like slightly nervous.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, maybe the humor is going to be different and whatever. But what I think they really pulled off, and they should be applauded for, is this does feel like a Naked Gun movie.
100%.
But it's the year 2025. Mm-hmm. Like you want it to be faithful to what made the originals so great, and a lot of that is verbal humor.
Yes.
But this isn't Leslie Nielsen, and this isn't the 80s, and it's not necessarily a riff on noirs. In a way, it's kind of a riff on Liam Neeson's movies.
Liam
like
Neeson,
that,
yeah.
You know, and that's smart.
Well, just, you know, the beginning, when we get the title sequence, the fact that it's not, you know, the siren going through, they didn't do that.
Yes.
I like that they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Instead, they did a thing that looks like mid 2000s action movie intros,
which was hilarious.
And then they do like a funny thing with that, you know?
Yeah.
There's so many. Like, yeah, I remember when you and I think this is when we did our commentary track. We were talking about how Siskel and Ebert were like laughing during their review, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And this is me yesterday telling my brother to watch it. And I'm like remembering scenes like when Drebin Jr.
Mhm.
is interviewing Busta Rhymes and they show the body cam footage.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not even going to say it's so funny.
Dude, you know what's funny? Well, I want to comment on that, but I just want to say in that opening scene, I think what they say it out loud, where some woman says to Drebin, like, "Who are you?" He's like, "I'm Frank Drebin, the new version."
Yeah.
But he's just like, I want to be a little bit like the old one, but not exactly the same, kind of different. Like
that's what he says to Frank Sr.'s picture.
Oh, sorry, I was confusing the moment. Yeah, but that's what I think they did. Like, I think they changed it enough to feel like a movie in this 2025, but it has the soul of the original Naked Gun.
Yeah.
They didn't betray its soul. And so that's what I agree. What I love.
Well, and so that, to me, the body cam scene is that, like, that would be perfectly at home in those earlier films.
Yeah. And I hope this isn't going outside of the bounds of what I should be talking about. But when I first saw that at the test screening, that was much longer.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I didn't find it as funny.
How funny. Wow.
I actually thought I was sort of thinking like, oh, this is kind of gross. And because they lingered too much on it. But what they did, and they should test it that way, because then they're seeing, when does everyone laugh and when does everyone stop laughing? And so they trimmed it up in such a way that you didn't linger on how gross it was anymore. You just almost like kind of related to it. Like, oh, I've been in that situation, and then it moved to the next moment. Like, okay, now he's in this coffee shop, and then there's a line. And then in the next, like, it was just like I almost wish people could see the difference, because it felt like a real lesson in comedy, whittling it down to its perfect essence, where it's the perfect version of that gag.
I mean, I was laughing out loud in the theater, and then again, remembering later, I was laughing out loud at that,
Yeah. But you know what I love about that? It's because he keeps eating these corn dogs. And then, then he's just, after the bathroom incident, he's like, I ate more corn dogs later.
Busta's like, don't do it, man.
Yeah, watching the footage. And then what I love later is then when Liam Neeson's holding the device in his hand, the plot device, literally.
Yep.
He's just like, well, it weighs about 2.5 corn dogs.
There's a scene earlier in the movie where they're at the car, they're investigating a car crash, and you see Frank put on his rubber glove.
Yes.
And then he reaches into with his other hand.
Right.
They spent so much time on him putting on that glove.
Wait, so maybe we should get into spoilers. Like, all this to say, I think people who are fans of the original Naked Gun will enjoy this. I think, and I mean this in the best way, I think it feels like Family Guy meets Naked Gun.
100%.
Which is, and I would say, the best of Family Guy. Because they do have like some funny observational humor and rug pull kind of humor, and Seth MacFarlane's a producer.
Lonely Island, one might say.
Lonely Island, for sure.
Yeah.
This feels like a perfect marriage of all those things, and I think it's something that across the board. Isn't that a joke in the movie too?
Yep.
I think most people are gonna have a great time with this. Just. I think
you're making me want to watch it again.
I know, me too, actually. But yeah, I think most people are gonna like this. It's just, there's jokes for everybody. It gets a little cheeky, little PG-13, but that aside, there's just jokes for everybody here. So, do you want to?
Are we doing spoilers?
Get into the jokes? Yeah, I think we should get to laugh about them.
Okay.
Spoiler.
So you're talking about things getting cheeky. I would say the cheekiest is obviously when Kevin Durant is looking through the the heat sensor, and he's seeing the outlines as Drebin is on his date with Pam Anderson's character.
Yeah, I would say that's like a notch up from the Austin Powers stuff, where it's you have the Austin Powers shadow gags where it looks like the Heather Graham's pulling an umbrella out of
Yes, that's right.
This goes like a hint more sexual, but and it also reminded me of The Simpsons, where they put the heat device to monitor Homer.
Yeah. He's stewing in his own juices.
Yeah, but they accidentally are focusing in on a turkey that's being cooked in the oven. Like, wow, he's 400 degrees. And but yeah, so you texted me. The only thing you texted me was the snowman.
Yes.
Yeah.
That snowman. So it's a montage set to Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now, right?
Yeah.
So this is sort of this movie's version of Something Tells Me I'm Into Something Good.
Yes. Yeah, the date montage.
And it's Drebin and Beth. They go off to like a winter cabin, and they have fun. They build a snowman. And then they find a book of magic incantations, and they bring the snowman to life.
Yeah.
And then he's involved in a 3-way with them.
Yeah.
And now he's jealous and he's shut out. And it was so funny because that was hilarious enough where you just see him staring through the window at them.
Yeah, feeling left out.
But then during the course of that music video, we see Frank puff on an inhaler.
Yeah.
And that was solely so that we could see the snowman like go like empty out the inhaler.
Yeah, he's plotting how he's going to kill.
And at that moment, I am doubled over in laughter.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that is so funny, And then he's chasing after them with a shotgun or whatever. And I was like, first of all, again, I was like, I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard. And I texted, I was like, this is like our sense of humor.
Yeah, totally.
Like
Totally.
I was like, I love the fact that they had this really bizarre thought and they just rolled with it. Like it reminds me of the thing that you and I did and Sean with the robot,
Yes, yeah.
It was totally in that vein,
You're right. Yeah, it really was.
It's totally that. And so I love that made it into this movie. And then it felt entirely of a piece with the franchise.
Yeah,
but it felt specific to something that this new team is bringing in.
Exactly. Yeah. That was the one that was the hardest to keep all these months because I was
if you described that, it would be like nobody would understand what you were saying.
You're right.
That's the other thing,
Yeah.
Pam Anderson's really good in this too.
Yeah, she really gets to shine. She was cracking me up when she was doing the scatting on stage, and then she's like playing with that stand-up bass, and she's like, that's really funny.
There was when Drebin walks in on the dead reporter.
Oh yeah, right.
And he's like, "Oh, I got this red stuff. I'm getting it everywhere."
Right.
He's like, "I picked up your knife. Now what?"
Yeah, right. You know what I loved was his chief's husband.
Yes,
who's sleeping. She's like, get him to me immediately.
Yeah. This instant.
This instant. She's like in bed. It's like the middle of the night. And then he's like standing at the foot of their bed, but they're whispering because her husband is sleeping with this like eye mask on.
No, well, make that so fun. She's like, get me Drebin this instant. And then we cut to Drebin and we're like, oh, this must be the next day in the office.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we cut back to her reverse and she's still in bed.
And they're like, shh. He's got a big day tomorrow. He's working on this presentation. And like Frank knows about it. He's like, oh yeah, well he's like overdue for that promotion. Why haven't they given it to him yet? And then later he shows up at the end, like the chief, and then the husband still has the eye mask on.
Yeah.
Like at the
it's Priscilla Presley's cameo.
Yeah, kind of almost like blink and you miss it.
It there's a scene where he's sneaking into Danny Houston's thing and he falls or whatever, and he gets a call and he's like, "Mom, I'll call you back," or whatever he says.
Oh yeah,
right. And so in my head, I was like, I wonder if we're gonna see Priscilla Presley in this.
You know what's funny? I didn't even think about it. That's that he would be talking to Priscilla Presley. That did crack me up though. After he's like trying to sneak into the place and there's a little squeak in the floor, and then he falls all down the set of stairs, and then he gets the call. Mom, I'll have to call you back, Mom.
I love that the whole sequence at the end with Frank at the MMA thing. Like that's basically this movie's version of the baseball game.
Totally. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we the whole the way it all erupts and everything, and it's just when he's finally fighting with Danny Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "You hit me in the stomach." He's like, "Have you ever been in a fight?"
That was the hard. I saw it with Sean and Chad.
Okay.
That was the hardest Sean laughed the whole movie.
Really?
He doubled over because Liam Neeson punches the bad guy in the stomach, and the guy goes, "You punched my belly." He's like, "You hit the soft part of my belly." And then he's like, "I've got a barf." Yeah, and then Drevin's like, "Have you even been in a fight before?" Dude, Sean was losing it.
Did he like the movie?
He did, yeah.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
Yeah, I was wondering. But he was laughing the whole way through.
Oh man, I'm trying to think. Like, there's some. I love the thing with Dave Bautista.
Oh, that was funny. Yeah.
Just like, just so incongruous, and then he gets like taken apart by the mob. You know,
Right. Oh, it was a good the internal affairs thing.
Yeah.
The Mission Impossible confession reveal
Dude,
gag.
I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
My God, so funny.
Yeah.
It's like, did you get that? Yeah, we break a few laws. Did you get that? And then what is it like? OSHA standards.
Right.
Oh man, yeah. Like off the top of my head, there's like 5 gags I can think of where I'm like, oh, I want to see that again just to see that gag, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we were talking about Paul Walter Hauser. He's a good straight man.
Yeah, he had a funny moment. It almost reminded me of the kind of humor O.J. Simpson was doing in the originals, where he's like, okay, well, I've got to go undercover as this like beer salesman,
Totally.
But then people are like, hey man, can I have a beer? It's like, yeah, all right. And then you cut back later, and he's like really doing the job, but he's like handing out beer to everyone, including kids.
That's
like
a total Nordberg thing, yeah.
Total Nordberg thing, yeah.
Well, that, and even like the bit with the electric car. Or the,
yes.
And he's getting kicked around when he's beating up those kids.
Yeah, right.
Oh man, that was hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, the claw machine thing was really funny.
That was good too. That's a total throwaway gag, right?
Yeah.
That's totally in the vein of the earlier films.
Yeah. And I love how it drops the car and everyone's like, oh.
the runner about coffee.
Yes.
I love that. That's a thing that you're probably not even really paying attention to, but it happens so much.
Yeah, they do it like 1 or 2 times where it feels natural.
Yeah.
But then I think they give him like an oversized cup of coffee, and then it becomes about like, I think he sets it on a table and there's like 100 coffees on it.
Yeah.
And then when he's driving, someone hands him a coffee.
Yeah, while he's driving.
I wonder if they saw that gag in Beetlejuice, where Willem Dafoe keeps getting handed coffee, and if they're like, oh no.
Oh.
It's just one of those funny things like great minds.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm glad to see it. It seems to be doing okay.
Hopefully this will be a word of mouth thing for sure. I think it did 16 million.
Yeah, which I mean, considering
like not, I wouldn't say that's terrible. Obviously you'd probably hope for like a 20 or something, but like hopefully it seems like everyone I've talked to enjoys it. And so hopefully it gives it a little, I hope Paramount doesn't jump the gun and just throw this onto streaming in like 2 weeks. I hope they give it, let it have some legs, because I think this is a movie that could.
I absolutely think that, and I don't think there's anything really playing for the next several weeks.
Exactly. This is like the right moment,
and it's so short that I think that's going to be something that gets people into theaters.
Totally.
Right. Oh, it's just 90 minutes. We can just
Yeah.
It's weird how like sometimes that longer movie is a deterrent as much as anything else.
Mm-hmm. Oh, preach, brother. Oh, it was a good gag too, was when Drevin's car has been taken over.
Oh, dude.
It's gonna, right? And so then like the windshield like breaks, but then the car gets filled up with balloons and bees, and then you see these guys, and usually it's like a plate of glass that they'll drive through, but it's a windshield, and then it like reattaches itself to the car and seals them back in. That's a great gag.
It's so funny. Oh my God. See, I know that after I get off this call, like 8 more things I had meant to bring up.
But that's what makes it great, right? Because then you can watch it a couple times because you're just going to forget.
I like the thing when Pam Anderson is first in his office and he looks in the window and he sees her outline.
right.
And he opens it and it's just like a mop or something, you know?
Right.
And then
Or
when she
yeah.
leaves, he's got like his internal monologue.
Oh, yes.
And then everybody else's internal monologue is like,
it's like a whole group. And he's like, hey, guys. Which is such like a dumb joke, too, where they're trying to make up her name as cover when she's going to hang out with the villain. And so he's looking around the room, kind of like that wrongly accused gag.
It's totally that, yeah.
But it's, the Cherry Roosevelt fat bozo eating spaghetti. So then for the rest of the movie, the villain is just like, Miss Spaghetti.
That's right. Yeah, the whole thing when Drebin like goes into his lair and he's just beating up those guys and they're all lined up.
Yeah.
That cracked me up, and there's like the now serving number, whatever, and it keeps every time he punches him he knocks him out,
Yeah.
I would love to see more of these.
Oh man, I really hope they keep doing this for sure. This would be an easy thing, like I say not an easy thing to write. It'd be really hard, but like
that's the thing. Yeah,
it would be a great thing, like every 2 years to have another one of these.
Totally right.
Yeah.
So hey, two good movies this week.
I think if people see either of these, they will not be disappointed.
I fully agree. Make it a double feature. What the hell?
Yeah, sure. I mean, but you smush these two together, they're probably still shorter than some of the 3-hour movies we've been getting recently.
Well, we got Avatar coming up soon. That's going to be however long, right?
Yeah.
Did you see the trailer?
Real quick, I complain about length a lot. A movie,
it's not the size of the boat; it's the motion in the ocean.
Exactly. I mean, like a lot of movies earn that length. For sure. You know what I mean? Like they use every minute and you don't think about the running time. But sometimes I think when I feel like, all right, I've got to watch this for the show or we're going to do this commentary or whatever, sometimes I'll see the length and I'll be like, ooh, I'll feel a little.
To that point, I think the Avatar Fire and Ash trailer is a good example. At least for me, I had this, I don't know about you, but it started and I was like, oh, we're doing more of this, huh?
Really?
And then it ended. I was like, oh, we're doing more of this, huh?
Yeah, I think I've understand my relationship to those movies now.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I'm not gonna watch them at home.
Yep.
But I will be there probably opening weekend and completely wowed.
Right.
And then I won't watch it again, and then I'll go show up for the next one and enjoy it, think it's very cool.
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at. And that was my entire emotional journey just during that trailer.
Right.
I'm like, no, we know what this is.
Right.
We spent a big chunk of the first decade of this show being like, who cares about another Avatar?
Right.
And I think at this point we're a little bit older and wiser.
Right.
And we realize, a lot of people do actually.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I mean, isn't that funny how quaint it is now to think back when people were like, I don't know, Cameron.
Yeah.
Cameron never loses, but this could be his first loss.
Yeah.
And then it'd be
how foolish we all were.
Yeah. Well, and he was like, if this movie's going to be profitable, it has to become at least the second highest grossing movie of all time. And you're like, who says that?
Yeah.
And then becomes the number one grossing movie of all time. Okay.
Foiled again.
Yeah.
Well, I will be talking about that in a few months. No doubt.
We will.
In the meantime, hey, we'll be back soon with a commentary track.
Oh, I'm very excited about this next week.
It'll be a fun one. So listen for that soon.
Yep.
But in the meanwhile, hey, if you have any thoughts on anything we said this week, you can let us know. You can email us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast, and message us there. As always, please go to Apple Podcasts and leave a review, leave a star rating. Also do the same at Spotify. And hey, if you're listening to this on YouTube, please hit like and smash that subscribe button. We also have a Patreon page, Brian.
Yes, we do. If you head over to patreon.com/moviefilmpodcast, hit subscribe for only $5 a month. You'll find every commentary we've ever done and every episode moving forward absolutely ad-free. Our free feed will always be available, but this is our way of providing what we believe is the most satisfying way to enjoy the show without random interruptions and ads butting into this conversation that we're just trying to have. Plus, your subscription goes a long way in helping to support us and helping to sustain producing this show. So if you're interested and able, please head over to patreon.com/moviefilmpodcast and hit subscribe. We'd be very grateful.
There we go. And with that, on behalf of my partner, Brian Hall, my name is Zach Hassan. This has been Movie Film 323. We'll catch you next time. Thanks, folks.
Welcome, friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast.